Hello, everyone. This is Dr. B, and I'm Angelica Benavides, and we are here today with some amazing co-authors, and we are delighted to be here. I mean, it's been some work, it's been dedication for months, and today you are going to meet our visionary leaders that will help impact, and they're going to share their story, they're going to share their mission. And our book is Visionary Women Leaders: Discovering the Greatness Within You. And in this case, it would be within the person that's reading the book and in our authors. So we're so excited to be here. I'm going to bring some of the authors here right now so that they can come in and together we can celebrate. And then we're going to interview them one by one. So you will be seeing them all, hopefully today. Things have been happening with technology, so hopefully everybody will be here. So again, yay, ladies, congratulations, we made it. Yay. God, ladies, I mean, we have to talk about this because everybody sees success and they think like, oh, I can't do that, they're successful, but they don't see what happens in the background. They don't see the struggles, the obstacles that we go through. Who wants to talk a little bit about what we go through before we actually get to that moment of success?
It's the process. I want to talk about the process. With success, you have to go through sometimes the hard stuff to get to the nice stuff. You know what I'm saying? So even with the process of writing the stories and really going through, from dealing with, internet problems and all types of things. But we kept pushing. It's like giving birth. We keep pushing no matter what. We pushing, our baby is born.
I love that. I love it. It's so true. I mean, it's hard to birth a baby, but and at the same time, it is hard to birth a project, an idea. Sometimes the idea is there and it looks fabulous and great, and yet when you begin and you run into obstacles, a lot of people give up. A lot of people just cannot push through those because they see it as obstacles. Anybody else wants to share about what is the journey to get there to what we consider success?
I would share, though I'm having a little trouble with this screen thing.
Yeah, we can hear you and we can see you.
You can see me?
Yes.
Okay. Because I just don't show up for myself. So just quickly, I would like to thank Dr. B for your tireless efforts and work and your team and everybody that's been putting the amount of hours that must have gone into you doing this for us. And I thank you for including me in this journey. It's been incredible to, I think it's just the most incredible time to be on the earth right now. For a soul and for, us coming together and bringing our gifts forward and all of the stuff that it culminates for us to take, be a visionary in the world and to have the courage to be a visionary. And I think that I just feel like I'm in some amazing group of people and women. That's what I'd like to just say right now.
Thank you. And, it is difficult. A lot of times when we think of greatness, ladies, well, people out there think of greatness, and even us, we get intimidated with the word greatness. And we shy away from it, and we're like, no, I can't do that. That's not for me. But everyone has that greatness within them, and they have that best version of themselves. What does it look like, and what can these amazing people that are listening to us today, because we're celebrating stepping into greatness. So what can we tell them?
Can I share my opinion?
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank you, Dr. Angelica, for the kind support and empowering other women. I really believe that empowered women, they can empower other women. And it is just that some women, they do not acknowledge or even recognize the greatness within them. Every single woman on this earth have that greatness within them. But the question is, are they acknowledging it? Are they recognizing that they have that potential? So I think that is the issue nowadays. Most of us women are not recognizing that within us we have the power. So that's my sharing. Thank you very much.
Mhm. Thank you. That is so true. I mean, people feel that they don't have the power, but they do. They do in so many ways. Anybody else would like to share? We have Hellenique that has joined us. For
Yes,
those who are
I'll go.
listening, go ahead, Viola.
I'll go. And being a visionary leader is so rewarding because first you recognize yourself as visionary, and then later you go into step into your leadership. And being a compassionate visionary leader woman is, as my friend Hellenic said all the time, what is needed today in the world. So it's the time for us to show who we are, show how can we do things in a different way, open the space for other women. Today somebody was asking me, how is it a great leader? And I was saying, a great leader is somebody who really focus in their self-development, who really keep uh, opening space and encouraging their team to be their best version, to give their best. But is somebody also that know how to set boundaries, is somebody compassionate, empathetic, but also know how to set boundaries. And most of all, is somebody who knows when it's time to open space for other leaders to come, and how I can change from being an active leader to pass to be an influencer. And that what make me be a leader forever. So there is a lot to learn from women, from visionary women leaders. And I thank you, Angelica and Ragne, for creating all these beautiful books for us.
I really love what you said, that we have to go from active to influencing people in so many ways.
Amazing.
And with me is Ragnes Sinicas also in this whole amazing project. I mean, it was her vision, right? She started a World Women Conference and Awards, and we had an amazing award ceremony back last year in February. And from there, this book was born through Ragne's eyes and vision. So thank you, Regne, for that beautiful vision. Because here we are, we're all here, we're enjoying it, and without visions and ideas, things will not be born. So it's your place, your stage right now, Regne.
Thank you very much. As we all know, we make plans and life happens, and that happens every day, every moment. So, and just about seconds ago, I had two choices: whether I go why life happens to me, or why is it happening for me. And every single thing that happens during our day is to really throw attention. Sometimes it's drawing attention to track how you are doing things. Sometimes it's drawing the attention to people in your life. Sometimes it's showing the attention that you just need to stop and you need to slow down. And if you don't do it yourself, the higher forces will do it for you. So lesson learned again. And I think this is a common um, element with all those visionary women which are in front of you. What makes them really visionary is the ability to be able to manage those things, those obstacles, those challenges, those, let's say, life happening to you on a daily basis, and not giving up for themselves, and most importantly, not giving up for others. But we all need to really pay attention to the signs where you need to put your self care first. So, today, if you are listening to this, if you are watching this, I want to invite you to a journey, and it's a journey of discovering yourself as we are here for servicing others. And sometimes we go overboard because this is who we are to the core. Those are our values, and that has been always our value as mothers, as women. But as they say in the airplane, you need to put the mask on yourself first, and then you can help others. And I'm pretty sure that there are so many people that have noticed throughout those 2 years, which have been quite challenging, I think, to most of us. There are, I'm sure, good exceptions to the rule, as they say. But really now sharing your experience, sharing your knowledge. How did you came out of it? What did you learn more than anything else? We know that all the points where we think that we somehow failed are actually sent to us in order to learn a lesson. And what is the lesson that you need to learn in order to serve better? Is the question that I want to ask you today. But today we are here to celebrate more than anything else those incredible 20 women which are in front of us. We want to know more about them. Why are they doing what they're doing? And what really drives them on a daily basis? Because some days are very long and very lonely, especially if you are a true leader. So, congratulations to everybody who even made to the book. We know that there were some courageous leaders that gave up, I think, a little too soon. But again, we encourage them to continue their journey and continue to inspire, motivate, and really impact the community where they are. And now I would just like to give floor to all of the beautiful souls that are with me today. And thank you for showing up. That's the first step. And sharing your story, because it's not always the easiest thing to do. We sometimes get to be afraid that what if people will judge us? What if people don't like the story that I have to tell? But I want to just remind you that your story really has the power to change other women's or men's or whoever is watching lives. And that makes you a true hero. So, congratulations and thank you for showing up today.
Thank you. Thank you, Regne, because it's very, very true what you're saying. Like, and we were talking about it at the beginning, where a lot of people see success and they see successful people that have achieved a goal, because that, success is defined based on the person's objective. But when they see people successful that have achieved their desire or dreams, they feel like, I can't do that. Yet success is really a journey more than a destination. And like you said, a lot of times people give up like when they're almost there. And we want to encourage today the women that are listening to us to step into your greatness, to be able to have that courage that it takes to be brave, to manifest anything you desire. You see, manifestation is really the action and the energy you put into your vision without quitting, right? So thank you again. We want to thank everybody, because without you, we would not have this book. So I want to thank all the remarkable, phenomenal ladies that say yes to be part of this book. Now, telling our stories is not easy, because sometimes it's like opening up that monster in the closet that scared us, that where we have these wounds. And many times when we begin to face them, when we begin to talk about them and share them to the world, we begin to heal also. So I want to thank everybody for saying yes and for healing that part of you that a lot of times needs, there's a continuation of a healing process, and we think, oh, I'm healed. And then when you go back to it and you're like, wait a minute, I'm still crying, right? I don't know if you experience that, but I know I do when I talk about my past. And there's like these little wounds that you think have healed and they have not. But that is part of being great, to being able to notice what you're feeling, what you're experiencing, and then being able to say, you know what, I want to share it to the world, because there's someone out there that has and will be experiencing what I have gone through. And now I'm going to tell them what I did, how I conquered chaos and overcame it. And then it shaped me and created who I am now, right? In my case, it's all about cancer, and I'll be sharing that a little bit later. But it's your life experiences that take you to that next level. So if you're experiencing any type of chaos, for those of you that are watching, don't give up. We're going to give you some stepping stones to step on. We're your support system. We're going to hold you down, hold you up so that you can feel strong again. So thank you so much. And Ragnar, I believe we're going to and begin with our ladies, right? Interviewing our wonderful ladies. So we're going to take all these ladies. Anybody else want to say something before we put you backstage about success? You can take the floor now.
Hi, there's something I would like to just add in. Being in the Akashic Records and the Akashic Record consultant is one of the things that really stuck out for me when I went into the Akashic Records and was reading for people is people find very often what they're most natural at and what they're really good at. We call them our divine gifts in the records. People would say, oh, that's nothing special. That's really easy for me. That's actually the point. It's supposed to be easy for you when it's your natural juju. And so we don't give credit to something and power to something that's natural for us, because we think it has to be harder. It has to be more work. It has to take more effort, because if it's natural, it's not that special. And so over the years working with my clients, that's one of the things that I really worked at, helping them get out of their head. And because your gifts are natural, and those are the ones that we want to expand on. And a lot of people go look for something hard to work at, instead of really just tapping into what's really natural for us to do. So I think that's a little key to success that I've found pretty effective for a lot of people, is don't ignore the stuff that's easy. It's meant to be.
Yes. Thank you, Diane, for that. And then Amber joined us. So Amber, we're really talking about the journey that it takes to achieve success. And many, many times people see us or see other people that have achieved their goals and consider success, and they feel like, I can't do that. So what can we tell them and say, yes, you can? You're muted.
Yes, you can.
It's not easy, right?
You have to start with believing in yourself and believing in what you have within inside you. A lot of times we're waiting for the resources, we're waiting for the finances, we're waiting for, everything, the support. You just have to take one step at a time. It's really a faith walk. And you have to believe in what you feel in your innermost being. What is your passion? What is it that you desire to have your voice say to the world? Even if the world right now is one person, you don't feel like anyone is going to listen to what you have to say. Why should I have, a platform? You just have to believe in whatever your life's experience has been and take it one step at a time and keep going. You're going to fall down many times, but continue. If you fail, if you feel like you're failing, fail forward. And what that means is just get up and take your life lessons and continue to use them to help push yourself along. And as you continue to be tenacious and to have tenacity and continue to move forward with just speaking hope, life, whatever it is that you're doing to help bless someone else, you have to make sure that it's about helping someone else, because we have to make sure our motives are intact and that it's not a selfish motive, or you're not just doing it to get money. If you really believe in empowering and blessing and educating, or just even just sharing your experience of what you have been through with someone else to try to help them not go through those pitfalls or not take those detours, you continue to do that. Continue to sharpen your gift. Continue to surround yourself around people who are doing what you desire to do, have been where you desire to go, and just keep believing. It's all about believing, because you're going to, a lot of times you want to give up. But success is not just about being on the biggest stage. It's not just about bringing in that $1 million purse, which we all will desire to do. It's about who you have touched and who you have impacted, who you have had the ability to influence. And if that is just one person as you travel along your journey, one person here, one person there, whoever it is, you just have to give God praise and say, I was able to bless and touch one person. Guess what? That's success.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So we really want to thank all the authors. I mean, 20 phenomenal authors that joined this book. And we want to say yay and congratulations again to all these beautiful ladies. Yay, yay, yay. Hooray. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to focus on a speaker. So we're going to put, everybody else is going to go backstage and then they will join us in a few minutes. So thank you, beautiful ladies, for being here with us and continue to be with us. So thank you so much. Hey, Hellenic. Oh, there you are. Okay. So thank you. Well, wow, right, Ragna? Like, wow.
Well, what else can you really expect from visionary women? You always know the right answers.
I know. And it is so exciting just to see and be in this energy and celebrating together what we've achieved. I mean, when you begin to read this book, Visionary Women Leaders, Discovering the Greatness Within You, you will see how these beautiful ladies took their struggles, their challenges, and then how they are made it to now, right? So it is a beautiful experience. Our next person, Regne, is Viola. So we're going to bring her up. Hello, Viola. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I am going to give you a
Such
second.
a pleasure and joy to be with you both.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, basically, let me introduce Viola. This is what she says, and I'm going to give you a little peek on her chapter. It says, you are just one breath away from supporting your personal and business life. Viola provides and assists you with clarity through sustained success by connecting amazing humans to one another, leading to life-changing opportunities. Thank you, Viola, because your vision and your mission is huge. And thank you for being here.
My pleasure, my honor. Really, really, when I heard about this project, I wanted to be in. It was like a little bit of a difficult time with so many projects that all of us we had, but we managed with the support and the care of you both to go through. And now we have this book. How wonderful is that?
Yes. So tell us, I mean, what was that challenge that you experienced that shaped you to where you are now today?
Well, there were many challenges, I think many, but one that I faced that was created by myself, it was the one that when I was struggling to be in the adult world, because I went into the adult world and the working force at the age of 13, when we migrate from one country to another, and you know how migration bring so many social things and so many scarcity in a way, especially when it's from one continent to another. When I went into addiction, so I become a chain smoker, and after some years, I also drank a lot. So the challenge of being trapped for a person like me who loved freedom and who was such an activist for freedom, when I understood that I hooked myself not to be free, to be prisoner of my own addiction behavior and addiction. And that challenge was big, but the fact that I saw it thankfully in an early age and managed through recovery and through several things to get out of it, I would say that is one of the biggest challenge I have. Of course, like many of you, I had other challenge like changing countries, changing schools. I never studied in the same school for 2 years when I was a kid, changing the first country at the age of 4.5, languages, country and family, changing the second country at the age of 13, another continent, another family, another language, and so forth. So there were different challenge. The challenge to get over the loss of one of the parents and in an early age, and the challenge to be the eldest of a family. So I to help my mother to go through. But all these challenges also create a huge resilience, because then it's true that we were my mother, my sister, and I, but also we were a unity of three. How strong is that? And how I see now how it had like a sculpture, it has designed me and the person who I am. For that, when you see me collaborating with so many people or so many organizations, I think that is how it built in me this way, how we us three as a unity, we were helping each other to go through life, my mother, my sister, and I. So I would say nowadays I still face many challenges, accent, technology, etc. But I think once I went through that one and get back my freedom, I feel like I can face it all. Was sometime, I call you and I cry to you, but together we go through.
Viola, the greatness within us, sometimes we don't really connect with it because we are looking for the greatness from outside, and it really happens because we want the verification, the approval from outside. What would be your best advice to those women leaders that really truly need maybe sometimes to believe more in themselves or have more confidence to take the first step to really truly step into their power and live the potential that they really have inside?
Yeah, I would say all of us, as the color of our eyes, as the color of our skin, as the shape of our hand, all of us, we have quality that are so unique. Not only because of the quality, it's the way how those quality are combined with other qualities. And I can tell you, through all these challenges that I have had in my life and I can still face, there is certain quality that been there all my life. And when nowadays I study a lot of my mother. She left, but I study her a lot, and I can see how those quality have been there through her life. And those quality is your best credit and debit card, believe me. So what I would ask you, always connect, as Ragnar said, with your greatness within, but honor what are the best qualities that you have, what are those characteristics that that shine on you. In me is my intuition, the fact that I'm a connector, is my generosity, is the way how I communicate, doesn't matter if I have accent, is the way how I'm creative. I create situation connection from nowhere, you know. It's like being witty, being curious. All these are the things that I took wherever I go in the world. Yeah. So I would say every leader really need to know what is their best and put it to shine more and to work for them and for their community, and also dare to see what is the less best, so you don't hide and that thing doesn't surprise you. In my case, I'm terrible with numbers, I'm terrible with directions, you know. I have no sense of orientation in the word, you know. I don't know where is the east, so all these things that you're not good at, so you add them to your you accept them part of your personality, so you don't have to stress, you don't have to hide. You the best quality will help you, that the least best will shine a little bit more. And also to keep your self development, and your self development according to who you are. Because look, it's not for me to go to courses and learn how to read maps. It's not about that. It's about the thing I like the most, the thing that is the best on me. How can I improve it? How can I expand it? Because for me, I have a purpose. And one part of my purpose is to give service. I'm going to give you the best of my service in the area that I'm the best. I'm not going to give you the best of my service in the way how I read maps or the way how I do mathematical calculation. This is the worst of me. So I think if you really approve who you are in your best and in your less best, and learn how to expand that and how to honor it, already you are the leader of your life as an individual. Already you live with yourself with smile. Already you don't get so frustrated with yourself and pretend to be perfect, because that pretension of being perfect, it takes you to different syndrome, like the imposter syndrome, like the persecutor syndrome, like so many syndrome that we have that we don't need. But if you accept yourself and keep working in yourself, then you're the leader of your life. And when you're leader of your life, then you can be so inspirational for others. And then you can be leaders of others too.
Indeed, indeed. Viola, what are the 3 keywords, without giving too much away, that people will still want to take the book and get to know you? What are the 3 keywords? Why should someone take the book and read your chapter?
Yes, because you need to learn how to connect with yourself to be able how to connect with others. You need to marry yourself in order to marry others. You need to partner with yourself in order to partner with others. It's very important that you get into this book, into my chapter and the chapter of my colleagues. And I'm sure you're going to remember me with a smile.
Beautiful answers. Angelica, you're on mute.
I love it, Viola. Thank you so much for your beautiful words. And then can you end with your quote that you want to share with us? Either it could be your visionary quote or your
Yes.
quote. Mm-hmm.
Yes. I remember Jane Goodall here. And I was so impacted by what she said. And what she said, you want it or not, you will make an impact in the world every day. So you need to choose what kind of difference you will make in the world. And for me, I read that years ago, and really it balanced me, it aligned me in a way. And I will add to that, remember, while there is breath, there is life. And when there is life, there is infinite possibility for transformation or for changes and for whatever you need and you want.
Thank you. That was powerful. Well, we want to really cheers, like, for everything you do in the world. It's juice, just for those of you that are wondering. So cheers for all you do, and because we all need that connection, for the warmth, and the passion that we desire, we want to be able to share it with each other. So thank you so much. And then if you want to come back later on, we'll bring you back on
Yes.
at the end. So
And thank you so much for all the people who make connection in the world. So we connected together. Bye-bye.
bye-bye. Thank you. Regne, the next person is Cheryl. And I just want to say a little bit about Cheryl before we bring her up. But this is her introduction that she writes. So it's a sneak peek. Okay. So be certain what you ask for, you will get it, she says. Cheryl Thibault, sorry, Cheryl, for that. Fairy tale dream of falling in love, getting married, and having kids and living happily ever after did not transpire. Today, 64% of women are the family's breadwinners, primarily single moms. That's where she found herself at a very young age. She was pregnant at 16, married at 17, pregnant again at 18, and divorced at 19. There, she was uneducated, unemployable, and alone. Her life needed a change, and she knew only she could make those changes. And from there, some remarkable things happened, Cheryl, right? So I am so blessed and so happy that you're here. Thank you.
A very true warrior with a very relatable story, I would say. So let's get to know you, Cheryl, a little better. How did you find the inner strength besides your circumstances, that those circumstances did not really define who you are? And you're on mute, so unmute yourself, please.
There I am. Hi. Whew, well, that's quite an introduction, but a true story. I guess I've had a pretty colorful life, some people say. Angelica, when you said we're still crying, we are, and here I go. So sorry. It's a little bit emotional for me. I probably should have went last in the speaking queue. Anyway, what kept me going was the fact that I had 2 mouths to feed and no one else was going to do it. So, oh, there I go. So sorry. I'm trying to be strong and get through this, but it is pretty emotional still for me. I actually never tell my story. A lot of it's embarrassing and a lot of it I've hidden. And oh man, look at me go. So sorry. Anyway, yeah, my kids are the only thing that actually kept me going because that's really all I had. And a couple of months ago, actually, just before I got the offer to, participate in this book, I had someone come to my home and she walked in and said, "Wow, you divorced well." And I was stunned because I didn't divorce well at all. In fact, I lived most of my life broke and struggling. And the fact that she made that comment made me really stop and think about what people think about me. And I got posed a question a while ago, and it was, "Who is Cheryl?" And I had no answer. I didn't really know who I was. And I'm still on the path to figure that out. And it's coming. And I have a lot of support from my best friends and my children for sure. But having that question posed to me made me really realize that 64% of the income earners are single moms. And there I was, one of them. And, I really didn't have a choice but to keep going and keep on swimming, as was my motto for ever since Dory came out. And it just became the way of life. You just survived and you did what you had to do. And who knew I would get to where I am? I guess I did, because you don't get to where you are without having your goals and visions. And they got me to where I am. And I'm still finding who I am. But in the process of survival, it just tore at my heartstrings to be the person to offer help to single moms, because there's a lot of us out there and we're lost. And it's hard to find your place. So I just held tight. I was a bit of a rebel growing up, and my poor mother and father, but it worked in my favor as I got older. I just learned to keep fighting and fighting and fighting for what I truly believed in. I was raised, I felt, with really good values and good morals. And my parents taught me just to never give up on my dream. And I never. And I just kept going. And I didn't even know that I was actually a visionary leader until one of my staff called me a visionary. And I said, I am. So anyway, it was just a lot of keeping on, I guess, is basically it. And my kids were incredible. We were the little tribe, the three of us. And I'm really proud of them today. They've both married incredible people. I'm a grandma, and we strive right now to give back. And I'm on a mission to really help, well, not just women, but it is mostly women, get to where they want to be, and let them know that they can keep going. So that's it. So sorry for the little breakdown there. I am pretty emotional, so that's just who I am. So if you have a question.
As we say, it does take a lot of courage to really pour the heart out of. But this is where really people can relate to and really say, if she can, I can too. And that's the motivation which sometimes in the darkest day someone needs. And I'm pretty sure that today someone needed to hear that, Sharon.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. And a lot of people need to hear it. You know, I'm nothing special. I'm nothing better than anyone. I just kept going. And, you know, I just kept going. And here I am today. So, yeah.
And from there, from that chaos that you experienced, your amazing business started. And in fact, you went virtual, very successful, even before COVID hit. And you went into that virtual world. So just tell us a bit about that success and why you did what you did.
Okay, that's an easy one, because I've always hid behind my business, so that makes it easy. When I was going through my divorce, I was actually only 19 years old. I was still supposed to be living the time of my life, and there I was, a single mom with 2 kids. So I had to make some hard decisions and fast decisions. So my little childhood dream was to just be in makeup and do nails, and you know, there I went. And the next thing I know, I was having to make a big decision. So the decision was to leave my kids with my parents and go off to fulfill my dream. I went to beauty school, and it was 400 miles away. So I had to leave my kids behind, which ripped me apart, literally. Any mom who has to do that. My daughter, I think, was only 1. So it was tough. And I came back and started a job, and realized quickly other people may want to do this too. And I didn't think it was fair for them to feel the pain of having to leave their kids and go to fulfill their dreams. So I started working on putting a little business plan for what I knew. I'd never had any education. I'm a high school dropout, and put a business together. Actually, I didn't even have a plan. I just went and did it. And I started a school in my province for my industry, and from there it grew and grew and grew. And we graduated several people, and circumstance would have it, I got into another terrible relationship and had to leave my province and move to BC, which I don't regret because it's absolutely beautiful here. And continued, I started another school here in BC and some spas and a lot of other businesses along the way. And then in 2006, I was actually in a very tragic accident and spent almost a year in a wheelchair and many years in rehab therapy trying to rebuild. And I lost one of my prime locations for business because I couldn't get upstairs. And my daughter was my manager at the time, and she was about to be married and start her family, and she couldn't keep it running either. So I had to make some new choices. And back then, the internet was just starting to come along. It was still a beginning. I had no idea even how to really use a computer. So I made videos at my kitchen table on how to do nails. And then I started a course thinking if I got one little student who could learn from home, then we could reach outskirts of the community and reach other people who, single moms who couldn't afford to go to school, people who couldn't leave their families and travel and so on. So I started marketing the course, and we sold through DVDs. And then the smartphones came out. So then we started with that. And in 2012, I had more students online than I had in my school. So that was pretty much a no-brainer. So we closed the brick and mortar school and we went 100% online. And that opened us up from a little street corner to Canada at the time. And then we reached Canada, and then we started getting outside interest, and it grew and grew and grew to now we have students globally. My goal this year is a little bit scary. My team is like, okay, here we go. But my goal this year is to be in 20 countries. And we are in quite a few already. So we're global now. And it's expanding and it's fabulous. I have a fabulous team of leaders supporting me and supporting women and supporting each other. And we're changing lives now all over the world. So that's exciting for us. It's very exciting.
That is very exciting. Really exciting because women, you feel my echo?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Yes, because there's a lot of women out there that want to step into that greatness, that are struggling. And seeing you and reading your story, for those of you that are listening, you need to get this book. We're going to provide the link very, very soon. So be patient with us. But you need to buy the book so that you can learn and discover what was their story? How did they get and why did they get where they got? Because through challenges, we create bravery and strength. And we create that callus, right, Renee? We get that strong callus where we can go for whatever we want. So can you give us your quote that you would like people to walk away with?
Well, my signature on my email says life is an endless beginning. So live with passion and purpose, because every day is a new beginning. And if you do not live with passion and purpose, you need to find some, because there's nothing else to keep you going other than the passion for living and finding your purpose. I didn't know my purpose. I lived because my kids needed food. That was pretty much what became my purpose, was to feed my kids. And who knew I'd be feeding other families indirectly through that. So that's a very nice one. But I'm adding something to the end of it now, and it's keep creating. We are here to create. We are here to have a vision. We are here to involve others in it and give big hugs and love to everyone, and just, hold them tight, love them, carry on, keep creating, and just be.
Thank you. Give people your title of your chapter, if you don't mind.
Of my chapter, oh boy, my chapter: uneducated, unemployable, and alone.
Mm-hmm. So we're asking, thank you. We're going to ask for you to get the book, read the chapter, so that you can really be inspired and motivated by her story. So beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much for showing up. And hopefully you can stay backstage and then come back and join us later.
I'm here for the long haul. Thank you.
Thank you. Regne, we have another amazing, phenomenal lady who's also making a huge difference around the world. And hers is very unique, and you're going to know her name, many of you that listen to this. She is birthing purpose. She's a birthing purpose coach. She assists individuals in discovering their God-given purpose and walking in it. She believes that if you have a pulse, you have a purpose in this earth realm. Your fingerprints prove that you are unique design because no one in the world has your prints. Now, as a coach, she can help you identify what that purpose is and come off mute to find your voice. Yes, if you guessed that it was Dr. Coach Ross, that is her.
Hello. So glad to see y'all.
So,
excited.
Coach Ross, I know that there's a lot of people who are watching this and they're like, what is this birthing coach? What's like a midwife, or what's your story? Like, we all know that we have the deficit for it, and focusing always on distractions. So, how do you see? There's a lot of opinions on whether you should connect with the purpose which has always been inside of you, instead of looking or discovering it in a different ways. I know that the funniest quote which I have read about it was from one of I don't remember the author now, but he said that you know what, your purpose is not keys which are lost, but the purpose is inside you. And once you tap into who you really are, what you really want, what you really desire, you will connect with your purpose. What do you think of it? Like, if you are helping people to really birth their purpose, what is the thought or what is the procedure
Around that?
Exactly, the blueprint of birthing your purpose.
So what I have discovered is, you said it, a lot of times we look on the outside to find out our purpose. But let's use, for example, an elevator. When the elevator was created, when the manufacturers came together and they put together and they created an elevator, they put all the parts in, they put it all together, and they had to go through a series of tests before they allowed one person to get on it, to be able to find out how many people it could hold. It had to go through a lot of different things. Everything in this world that is created has to be manufactured, and it has a manual, a book that tells you how to use it. The biggest thing is, we don't come with a manual, okay? But we got to go back to the person that created us to find out what we were put here to do. That's the number one thing, is being able to say, okay, Lord, what did you put me here for? Starting there. Everybody has different sets of beliefs, but the beginning set for me, and the way that I coach with the birthing process, is birthing the purpose, that is learning who you are. If you don't know who you are, you don't know why you're here. It all starts with identifying who you are. Now, a lot of us, we start out as kids, as young children, and we have all kinds of dreams. We have all kinds of things that we want to do. But as we grow, we hear things like, stop dreaming, stop daydreaming, you're daydreaming. Or you can't be this, you can't be that, you can't be this. And people try to take us away from the originality of who we are. Birthing your purpose means going back to the Lord and saying, okay, Jesus, what did you put me here for? Okay, because he is the manufacturer, as my sister just commented. He is. He's the one who gives you your purpose and your destiny. So therefore, you got to go back to the manufacturer to find out what it is. And then this is the part. We have gifts inside of us that we're yet to discover. Everything that you need to be what you are called to be is inside of you. And now it's a process of discovering all the greatness within. Now, my chapter, oh, I don't want to move ahead. Let me answer that part. I'm going to stop right there because y'all know I'm long-winded.
You never cease to surprise me. So and you're right. Don't go away. So and again, there's no one fit. And I think also with you, you always see that sometimes people get stuck when they're already advanced. Sometimes we think that this is like we are on the way of really truly fulfilling our purpose, and then we have such a awakening call that we're like, were we wrong? What isn't this my true calling? And sometimes we don't know if it's our mind playing games with us to is it a test? You go through that,
Right.
survive your this is it, or is it sometimes throwing the tension that especially when we talk about defining our purpose through our business, that we are so much in love with our business that we don't see the blind spots in our business, that not everybody is maybe that as much fascinated by our business. So I'm truly thankful that you shared all of this. But what would you say? Why would someone really truly need to grab this book and read your chapter? And again, don't give all the secret sauce away, but maybe 3 keywords that really should highlight the advice that you give that would change their life, solve their problem, or whoever knows, maybe even their deepest desires.
Yes. Okay, so one of the things that I talk about, in my chapter, just to give you, like I said, not to give all the secret sauce away, but how your pain can birth your purpose. My sister Cheryl that was on right before me, she talked about all the things that she went through that birthed her purpose, that she was being a mother. She was doing what she needed for her girls. And in the process of doing that, it birthed a purpose. Okay, so this is the same thing, and I talk about in my chapter for those that, get the book. But I talk about how my pain, the things I went through, birthed my purpose. Know this, anyone listening out there right now, you may have been through so much that you're like, oh my gosh, there's nothing that I can give anybody. Your pain, your scars, the fact that you made it and you still have a pulse means you have a purpose. You have something to give someone else. You have a voice. You have a voice to teach somebody else that, you know what? If the only thing you did was to make a little sandwich and you cut off the sides and you did the same thing every time, you can share that with someone else. You have something in you that is valuable. Don't let anything discredit you. So my biggest thing and the word that I want to leave with you, and a little bit of what I put in the book, okay, a little bit, is you are valuable. Nothing you went through was lost. We are like palm trees. We bend, but we don't break. So no matter what you went through, it may have felt like you were broken, but you are not destroyed. You are here for a reason, a purpose, and a destiny.
Wow.
Amen.
Amen. That energy. Like, for those of you that are watching right now and you just connected with her energy, I mean, that was her voice. And when she is writing, you can hear her voice and her writing. So you need to connect, pick up the book, and read it, because in this book, you're going to be transformed. Yes. With Coach Ross's chapter and many. We have 20 phenomenal ladies that wrote a chapter, and they have a story just like her. And we want you to tap into your greatness, to your purpose. And then we want to squeeze the juice out of you so that everybody gets soaked with the love and the passion that you are wanting, and that it's going to help you in a great, great way. But end with your quote, and then we're going to go to our next amazing lady.
Yes, my quote is always, as long as you have a pulse, you have a purpose. You have something that God has placed you to do that no one in this world can do. And your fingerprints is that evidence, because no one has your fingerprints. God bless you all. Thank y'all both for this vision. Thank y'all for being obedient to what God has given y'all to do. I'm honored.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ross. And stay backstage. And I know we're going to have some other people coming in right now. So those of you that are watching, like, don't go away, because our next author, I mean, I'm just going to give you a little hint about her, and then let's see if you know who she is. At 22, she became one of the first youngest females to start a telecommunication installation company. She was moving into a male-dominated industry and could not get hired as an electrical engineer in Silicon Valley. So many of you can imagine that, and you know what that means. So within 4 short years, she took that business from being unknown to one of the top 50 women-owned businesses in Silicon Valley. So this business led her to become one of the few African-American women who broke that glass ceiling that was once not an option for people of her race or gender. The exciting fact is that Rochelle Marie, let me bring her up. There she is. Rochelle Marie envisioned herself being a successful business owner at age 10 before it even happened. So while playing a game with her girlfriends, she described the exact scenario of how she would become a successful entrepreneur and the age it would happen. This vision was just one of the many visionary experiences that Rochelle Marie shared with her girlfriends, and the best yet to come. Welcome. Yay. I'm so excited.
Hey, how are you, ladies?
We are doing fabulous. Regne?
So, Rochelle, do you believe in luck, or is it luck more when the preparation meets the opportunity? Because you can speak on that. I'm pretty sure based on your experience.
Okay, so I do believe in luck, but I don't believe that there's a magical leprechaun that's going around and sprinkling, us with, oh, you get a little luck dust and you get a little luck dust. I don't believe in that kind of luck. The kind of luck I believe is when you're prepared and opportunities come upon your path that you have dreamed about, that you desire, that you envision, and you're prepared, then the lucky thing is, guess what? Those opportunities become a reality. And so if that is a different take on luck, that's how I take it, because I think that as a visionary woman and an unstoppable woman, I've had to sometimes make my own luck, particularly when I started my business in 1989. So I would say that would be my take on luck. I don't believe that there's a magical lucky uh, leprechaun, but I do believe that when you're prepared, then your luck is everything falls into place, and the opportunities that you seek and desire will become reality. And because you're prepared, you're able to step in and claim and own and take control of those opportunities.
And I love that you had this vision like way before it even happened. So many times you have to claim it, name it, and then make it happen, right? And
Yes,
that's very powerful. Like, I really love that, what you did.
thank you.
I think it's also very important for us, especially when we are entrepreneurs or business owners, that once we have the lucky breakthrough, that we don't just stop there, that we really endure, that we have the sustainable success, and what are the really truly the next steps that we need to do, and more than anything else, who are the people that I need, because we all know that we can get to one level of success with our knowledge and everything who we are, but when we stop growing and having the right proximity with people that will help us to take to the next level, what is your intake on really truly having the right people next to you, and also hiring the right people? Because I'm pretty sure that even in your case, you were hired and you were the right person, but now having also maybe vice versa experience, and seeing, maybe being able to hire yourself and seeing the benefit of doing so.
So with regards to that, when I first started that business, now I have multiple businesses. So when I first started that business, the telecommunications company, I was actually a very shy person. I really knew I had great skills at being operational, recovering perfectionist, type A personality. And I'm the only girl in my whole entire family. So I think because of that, and because growing up around boys, I've always had to, I don't want to say fight, but I always had to have tenacity to move forward. And so when I started my company, being this kind of shy person, but very, let me see, very fiery in the background, so to speak, because I have a very fiery personality. I I didn't have the comfortability to go out and talk, but I could sell. I could step into this hat, put this hat on myself, and step into a sales role like an actress, and then pop out. But that wasn't really me. I joined an organization just because I wanted to connect with other women business owners, and I found that there was a great organization in Silicon Valley in San Jose that had other women business owners, and I wanted to connect. And so when I joined this organization, within 2 months of me joining the organization, which is the National Association of Women Business Owners, NABO Silicon Valley, within 2 months there was an older lady that saw something in me that I didn't even recognize I had in myself. And she approached me and asked me if I wanted to be on the board of directors. And from that moment, I was like, okay. But from that moment, I went from being on the board of directors for NABO Silicon Valley just because some lady saw something in me that I didn't see for myself, to becoming the president of the National Association of National Association of Women Business Owners in Silicon Valley. And during my tenure with that chapter, I took that chapter to it having the highest membership that it had ever had in the history of the chapter. I took it from being basically all Caucasian-based women with me and maybe one other woman, which was maybe an Asian woman, to having a diversity that represented the actual business owners in Silicon Valley. I went from being that person in the back room or sitting in the front seat that wouldn't speak, to being speaking in front of thousands of people because of the position I had been put in NABO Silicon Valley. is Silicon Valley. So it was a very influential time when that was happening. And then that led me to being an invited speaker on Capitol Hill 3 times to speak on minority, women-owned, and small business issues. And I did that. And the reason I'm sharing this is because I was a little girl, a young lady, a young, fresh business owner that didn't even see the capabilities or even thought that I could speak in front of people. But it was women that became my mentors, that were seasoned business owners in Silicon Valley, that saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. What they saw was leadership. What they saw was my visionary skills, because I envisioned that the chapter should be representing the diversity in Silicon Valley, and it was not reflective of that. That led me to going on being on the national board for a couple years, but it opened up a wide variety of experiences for me to serve on other nonprofit, health organizations and medical foundations and things of that nature. And so, yes, I believe that having someone see something in you, or an older, more experienced person see something in you and want to string you along and kind of take you by the hand and guide you to what you don't even see as possible for yourself at that moment in time is a beautiful thing. And that also turns over when you're hiring someone for your company. So here I am. I'm a seasoned business owner. I've been in business since 1989 with one business, and since 2008 with the other business. And when I look at hiring people, because my telecom business is in a male-dominated industry, generally I'm hiring males. So it's always usually me, maybe one or two other gals, but we're always with a bunch of guys because that's just the way the industry rolls. Not saying I wouldn't hire any women to do tech, but that's just the way it is. So when I'm looking to hire, whether it's a male or female, I'm looking at something for that they can't see within themselves, that I know that if I can pull that out of them and show that to them, that they can step into owning it, recognizing, owning, and claiming it, then they can go forth and do greater things, whether it's with my company in the position that they're working in or with someone else's company. But I think that it's very, very powerful to look into what you see when you're trying to hire somebody, what you see beyond what they're presenting to you that's going to be beneficial to them and the company as things move forward. It's all about seeing and recognizing talent that people don't see for themselves, which I think is part of being a visionary person.
Exactly. Wow. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, because it is being able to see that idea, and then how do you take that idea and then consolidate it into something that's real, that you're actually experiencing. So congratulations for that. Now, what is the quote that you want people to walk away with?
Oh, wow. I have so many. And of course, because I have so many, I'm tight on. But the quote I want people to walk away is no matter where you are on your path to bliss, which is all of our journeys, we all have our own unique path to bliss. No matter where you are on your path to bliss, things sometimes may be paved with rose petals, and other times you may come across challenges that might be a big tree in the middle of your path that you have to get around, a big boulder, or a big pit that you have to figure out how to get over. The beautiful thing is the experience with regards to you going through that helps you to become a much wiser and knowledgeable person moving forward. And so the next time when you're traveling on your path to bliss and this challenge comes up, or a challenge comes up, you have been armed with the knowledge of the divine at that moment in time to guide you through to perfection on the other side of that challenge. And that is something I truly believe. The divine does not give us anything we cannot handle. It's being able to recognize this and embrace the energy and the wisdom from the divine that leads us through the challenge to and beyond to greatness. And that's it.
Thank you. And for those of you that don't know Rochelle, you need to know that she's the queen of fearless, or give it
Feeling fabulous.
Feeling fabulous. The queen of feeling fabulous.
Feeling fabulous, because that's how I roll with everything that I do.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Regne?
No, and I think it's another important thing to know that our book actually comes with each of those incredible ladies' contacts. Not, it's just not the regular book. So you were able to contact with each of those wonderful women leaders and really tap into your potential with connecting with. And you see the story just that you heard, how important is the proximity to the right people. The right time will be always there. Whatever is meant for you will come, but the proximity to people that can uplift you, who believe maybe sometimes more than you believe in yourself. But we all know that everything starts when we believe in ourselves first, and then the whole world will do the same. So, Rochelle, incredible story. Thank you very much for sharing your story with us today.
Thank you very much for allowing me to be here. I appreciate this beautiful project, and let's go, women! Be visionary. Let's get out there and kill the game. All right.
Right? Yes, we got that. You know, and like Regna says, this book does come with the connection of these fabulous women. So pretty soon we're going to share the link, and we want you to take action so that you can not only read their stories, but connect with these fabulous women, where you can bring them on your show, you can interview them, you can bring them on another book project, you can put them on stages, because they're here for a bigger reason, and that is to share their mission and their stories to transform lives in bigger ways and have bigger impact. So again, Rochelle, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And our next person, oh my goodness. Our next person, let me tell you a little bit about her without giving her name. And how many of you feel like your life is overwhelmed? Like, with writing this book, mine was, okay, and putting it together. But how many feel like the opportunity for yourself is gone after having kids? Like, you had kids and then you feel like, now what's next, right? How many feel like you have the burning desire to dig deeper and do more, but don't know where to start? Well, with us is Dr. V, and can definitely raise her hand all for, with all those questions. So let me go ahead and bring her in. And there she is. Welcome, Dr. V.
Hi.
You
Hi,
got
Dr. V. Hi,
right?
Rena.
You got to that point where you were asking all these questions, like, what's next? Right? You
Yeah.
have kids, and then like, what's next? She is a root canal specialist, for those of you that don't know her. And Regna is going to ask you a question so other people can really get to know you.
Hi, Rena. I'm ready. I feel like I'm on a pageant. I'm ready.
Where you are, you're just ready, because it's another day given to breathe again and to start all over again every single day. So, Dr. V, what is the most important essence of what you bring in this book to our audience? Like, if you would describe in three key words, not giving away everything because we want them to come and read, but what would be the most important? Why should someone grab the book and read your chapter?
Gosh, just to start, I'm just so inspired by hearing so many stories of these talented ladies. I want the book myself to read everyone's story, not just my own. But for me, I've always had the desire to really, help people succeed, not just in business, in big life goals, but really some of the most important goals in our life is right in front of us, that's with us every day, and that's health and relationship with people that are around us and our immediate family, and that's what I really hope to influence someone or help them find that, because once you have stability within the foundation, within the people that you are surrounded with, immediately your family and your friends, I think from there you can go and conquer the world, and I feel like maybe there's something I can contribute, along with the rest of other women who can, the great entrepreneurs that can take them away, you know? So yeah.
Yeah. And then Ragnar, Dr. V not only focuses on our beautiful teeth, right, and our root canal, but she focuses on uh, cooking and creating like a beautiful relationship with food, and then being able to share it with the people that we love. So tell us more about that. Like, why were that you become so interested in the ultimate relationship chef? That's who you are. So
Because, I love to cook, but that was just one thing. And the reason why I'm so passionate about cooking is, I grew up in Vietnam and we never had the opportunity to do anything extracurricular. I didn't have a chance to do piano, anything else. It's just nothing else. I just had to learn how to cook. And as I grew older, whenever I didn't know how to make friends because, all my other friends had some kind of talent. They know how to play a sport. They know how to do something else. I didn't know how to do anything. But then I realized that, cooking is my weapon. That's how I really, that's my tool, not just to cook and eat and keep myself healthy and all that, but it's really my tool to build a relationship with someone who I don't know. And I don't need to have any special time because I need to do it anyways to feed myself. But, that's why I love cooking so much is as a way to really build a relationship because I feel that, not we're very different, but one thing that I think we can all agree on that most of us or maybe all of us have in common is we love to eat good food, and I feel like having for me as a kid when I had that ability in my hand, I felt not just it was really my tool to give me confidence as a kid because I knew that no matter what happened, I have a tool in my hand to survive, and to build a relationship. And all the relationship, the business relationship that I've had in my life is from that, to really my sincere way to show someone, hey, I care for you. I spend this time to cook for you. And of course I go on about everything in it, but also another reason why I love cooking is I feel, in my culture, women have always been viewed as you stay home and you cook. You stay home and you cook. The men does everything else. That's all you're good for is you stay home and you cook. Um, and then now as time have changed and things have changed, back in the country is opposite. Like, girls, you don't need to cook anymore. You shouldn't cook. You don't need to cook. You don't women don't belong in the kitchen, but they don't need to be. But I feel it's the opposite. I feel, as I'm a modern woman where I work, I have my own career, I have my business and everything else. But I feel like, nothing can change really the dynamic and the role of a mother and a father together to raise a family. And as a mom, I think it's just I'm not saying men can cook, just like saying women can go out there and work and be successful. But I think we're naturally built to, have that nurturing side of us, where we cook and we nurture the family and that's my way to really bond with my children and to really have a time in the day where hey, we sit down, we don't talk about business, we don't talk about anything else, but we sometimes you don't have a common topic to talk about, and the family time, even though you're together but you're not together up here. So I feel like, when we focus on the food that we eat and how we do and we do it together, we really get a opportunity to bond together and stay connected, and also it's a way for me to show my children, to set an example for them that, when you grow older, for my daughter, for example, hey, you know what? This is what it really takes to nurture your family. It doesn't matter how busy you are. It doesn't matter how much you have going on out there in the world, And it also show my son that, when my husband and I we work together to prepare a family meal, show my son that, hey, when you grow up, you have a good wife that does this. You need to appreciate her. You need to participate. We set a good example for him to motivate her, encourage her. At the same time, with my girls, I show them that, yeah, even though you cook and you nurture your family, but you can still go out there in the world and do big things. And no, you don't need to uh, be inferior, just because to your husband, so it's just, I want to raise them in a way where, it takes a lot to nurture a family, and relationship, and cooking is the way to do it, and also teach them to be healthy, because health is wealth. Because to me, I don't worry about filling up their bank account or their college education account, because I feel if I could do it with nothing, they can too. But teaching them a way of life to live healthy and build healthy relationship is so important, because that's how they build wealth and so on and stay successful. So yeah.
Well, I think I thank you for sharing all of that, and I think two very important parts are one, which relates back to dentistry, that it's also a very important part of our self-esteem, and sometimes it's the missing part, which where we as women do not feel comfortable or confident because of the looks and beautiful sharing of on that side, and beautiful work that you're doing, because giving the beautiful smiles for sure means a lot to many. And from other side, I think there's a lot of work to do on bringing awareness of good nutrition, which is from just not just only the living the moment together, but also where all our health problems really starts. Is that the same way that we feed our body, we should feed our minds, and being more aware what we put in the mouth and what we are putting inside the head. So with better awareness, we can make better choices, and with better choices, we get better results. So thank you very much for sharing your story and all your knowledge and experience in this book.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. V. So tell us your quote. What would be the quote that you want people to kind of walk away with? And I know it could be the one that you wrote for this book or a different one.
Before I would always say health, your health is your wealth, but I would say the one I love from Maya Angelou is, if you don't work, nothing would work. Because whenever, for me, sometimes I fight so much into, I have a lot of, ambition and such, and sometimes I feel overwhelmed and so many things where all of us go through. But I love her quote: if you don't work, nothing will work, because it will really put you right into perspective. Like, you need to work, you need to keep your body working, you're mentally working in a healthy state, and everything else around you will work and everything will fall into place. So that's really my really favorite quote: short and sweet and really to the point, and get you back into focus.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much, Dr. V, for being here. I know that we're all busy, but making time to come and sharing a little bit about what you wrote in this chapter is really important, so that people can have an idea what to expect, and then be able to go and buy the book and really make that connection with many, many authors that are in the chapter, and with you, because you have a lot to share, especially food, which is, when I know, as a woman, entrepreneur, businesswoman, we get so busy with work that we forget to eat healthy, or we even sometimes forget to eat, period.
Right.
So, but thank you so much, because people will really enjoy your chapter.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Regne, our next speaker is somebody that I really honor, and she's always like, she has her back, Regne, yours and mine, all the time. Like, she's checking in on us. She has a humble heart, and this is she's a management consultant with more than 30 years of experience within human resource services. Her corporation hired Nitsiki no Nikoko, and to assist in a training and coaching their managers to become incredible leaders. Not just leaders who hold positions of power, but those who acknowledge and exercise power to lead with integrity. So her chapter is about how can you become a leader and do it in such a way and keeping integrity. So welcome, Natsuki. Yay. Congratulations to all of you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Am I audible?
Yes.
Oh, awesome. Wonderful. Thank you. I want to greet you in this way. people must know that my background is green because I come from the land of the great. And I come from South Africa, in Azania, in Africa. Allah, Allah. To you, Dr. B and Ragni. Allah, Allah, Makabogazana. Thank you.
We are filled with energy already. So beautiful. I know your story. Not everybody knows your story, and I really urge everybody to get to this chapter right away, because Nichiki has really showed what does it mean to live without borders? What does it mean to live without limitations? What does it really mean to lead with integrity? And what does it really mean to stand up immediately, even if you have been kicked down, and keep on going? So I admire you a lot, and I think that if there's one person that I would need to mention like this, that who keeps on going, whatever happens, or no matter what, that would be you. And she's always smiling. That's the best part of it. And as Angelica just said, she follows up. But for those who do not know you, what are the key things that you bring in your chapter to the readers? Why should they read your chapter? And don't give away all your secret sauce. We still want them to take the pen and paper, make notes, and learn, but just attract their attention.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me just tease them this way. It's about a strategic philanthropist. And it's about, I put things in 3 layers all the time because I believe in God, the Father, and the Holy Spirit, and the Son. So it's the strategic alliance. It is the diversity and inclusion. And also it is that part of being a global citizen, being strategic in your alliances. So this is based in, you have to know who you are, and you have to like who you are, and you have to trust who you are. Above all, you have to trust the strength and the power in you. For me, Nonsikelelo Nsikinqoqo, who is in me, it is the God, my creator, the divine, the holy one, who created me, so that I may be his hands and feet on earth, and that I can be his eyes and ears, and I can be his voice to the nations. So it brings me to a position of always being positioned well for alliances and for being a philanthropy. This is Africa. Remember, I come from the brave of the land and the wise in Africa. Therefore, here we live under the spirit of Ubuntu. Ubuntu, it means you can never live alone. I grew up in a very big family. My father was a pastor, and all, PKs, pastors' kids, will come home. The diversity, the inclusion there. My friends from primary are online. My friends from high school, from varsity, from wherever I've worked, I make sure I work with integrity so that wherever I have to fall back, I fall back to someone who I have never wronged. I do my best. I do my best not to wrong anyone. Hence, I bring in this power to lead with integrity. Within us, we all have the power to lead. But is there integrity in the power to lead the nations, the organizations, the families? Let me leave it there. Thank you.
Amen again. So I think
Hallelujah.
such variety of characters, such variety of stories. And yet I'm pretty sure if you have paid attention, and hopefully you also have been taking notes, every single story has something that is applicable, or you can take action today in order to take your business, take your life, take your personal growth to the next step. So I really truly hope that besides getting the book, obviously afterwards, you are using this time to invest in yourself by really taking those notes, but more importantly, to take action on those notes afterwards. So, Angelica, I think you also have a question for Nitya.
Well, Nitsuki, you're one of the authors, and I want to say to those that are listening, we have several authors from different places around the world, and she is from Africa. And being in this book and bringing in that secret sauce on how can you succeed and still step into your greatness besides the struggles, the chaos that could happen around your life. I mean, what is it that you want to tell people that are ready to give up? And you want to tell them, like, stop, like there's probably like one last step so that they can get to that next level of their life.
Thank you, Dr. B, for that. I want to tell them with a little story of my past. Never seize an opportunity when you are given an opportunity. I was in a singing group when we were growing up in the church, in a gospel a group. And I was given an opportunity to be a lead singer and sing a line. Because I was shy, I did not sing it. I just said it out. And I seized the opportunity to be a lead singer there. Now I make sure I have no fear. I tell fear, and I want you to take this word fear for me, Nziki. I have changed it. It means full efforts are raised to be at the level where you have to be. So there's no fear in my life. No matter what the situation, I have gone through difficult situations. I have had it all and I've lost it all. I have been taken care of by other people and family, but I respect people. The journey that you are going through, it is a journey building up your opportunities. It is a journey building up your character. It is a journey building up the position God is putting you in the forefront, so that it is not just about the position, it is about the servanthood. It is about the assignment God has created you for. It is about leading others and opening up opportunities for others. Never seize an opportunity. I did not, when there was an opportunity for me to be in the book that is, full of other great women from all over other countries. But you know what? I met Dr. B, I met Ragni, I met Yolanda Mabuto, who is my leader in Africa in World Women Conference and Awards, who pushed me. They pushed me to be who I am. Allow yourself to be taught. That's another thing about us women and people who think they are leaders. We always think we know it all. There are moments to be a listener. There are moments to be taught. There are moments to be taken care of and be nurtured to as a woman. Never seize an opportunity to be great for your organization, your country, and open the doors. As you rise, lift others up with you. Thank you.
I love it. I love it. And you know what? Fear, if you remove the F, you have the word ear. So it's all about listening to the opportunities that come to you and being able to take action. So thank you so much for taking action and being in this amazing book. Those of you that are watching this, we highly recommend that you read her book. Tell us the title and then end with a quote. What do people need to walk away with?
Thank you. My title is Strategic Philanthropist. And my quote is exactly what we are today. Power of networking. Power of networking is the great give and get seed to your positive wealth of relationships and knowledge. It's a treasury that offers one a global virtual citizenship and influence. From me, Nsiki Ngcoco. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Allah, Allah, arise, Africa, arise. This is your time. I do. Arise, Africa, cheers. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Africa. You have an amazing, amazing visionary leader here with us from Africa. So congratulations for that. And thank you. And we will connect very, very soon. Thanks, Nitsuki. Wow. Wow. Aren't you just like amazed with the energy and the passion that these women have right now? It's just magnificent.
I don't want to leave. I want this to go. Like I'm learning so much through the experiences and really listening, because there has been some aha moments for me, as we tend to see the life not as the life really is, but as we are, and the journey of discovering yourself. Then the same quote which you have maybe heard hundreds times before, today can trigger you, and I'm like, oh my God. Yes.
It all comes together. It all comes together. You know, as I was reading the chapters and rereading, like even when I had already read it one time, and then I read it again, it was like, oh my God, I didn't see that. And it was like this aha moment, Regne, that for those of you that you're listening right now, even if you think like, oh, I get it, I know what the book is about. No, you don't. You have to buy it. You're going to have to read it and then go connect with them. And because they have amazing stories, the energy, the passion, Regne, that they bring to your community, to other people's community, will be amazing. So
proximity. It's more important than you can ever think. Once you have your breakthrough, you will understand what I'm saying. Otherwise, you might be listening and it's like, what is she saying? Proximity, what? The environment where you are is so important. Truly look around where you are and who are you surrounded with.
Absolutely. So our next person, you know, she felt she was different at a very young age. She started out life in a small town in Saskatchewan, Canada. You're going to have to pronounce that for me in a minute. And then she recognized early in life that she had a very unique gift imparting wisdom to people of all ages. She also called out hypocrisy, stood up and bullies, and did not even back down regardless of their age or size. She took that strength and harnessed it into helping others awaken their inner warrior, set healthy boundaries, and recognize that when we are, all the same, we are all the captains at the helm of our own ship. So with us, we have Diane. Welcome, Diane.
Hello, ladies.
Thank you. Tell us where you're from, because I probably messed up the name.
Well, Saskatchewan, Canada is the name of it. You have the United States, we have provinces. So yeah, Saskatchewan. I live in a small town, and I grew up here. Then I left when I was 16. Came back later. Came back here later in life. So I spent most of my life away from it. But it's been an incredible journey, right from being a real little tyke here in this town and to where we are today. And what's going on in the world is having such a big impact on all of us.
Thank you.
Yeah, Saskatchewan.
So tell us really truly what triggered you to write your story. because we all know that the uncertainty, oh, who am I to write the story? Who could be interested? Why should I do it? But yet it's a crime against humanity not to share your story, because it actually will change someone else's life. So tell us a little more about that.
Thanks. Because I think I knew when I was younger, I just knew that I was different in terms of kind of seeing beyond what was just in the physical. And I grew up with a lot of hypocrisy, I guess, is part of it. That's what I wrote about in my story. Understanding that a big part of it for me and in life was in settling. I'll just give you an example. Years ago, my father asked me, why can't I settle down? And I said, well, no, there's a big difference. I don't settle. There's a big difference between settling down and not settling. And I found that if you started with a habit of settling anywhere, you would just continue to build that habit over and over and over again. And one of the things that I have worked at really big in my life and with people and the clients and in the work that I do, and women, I think in particular, we come in our families, in our businesses, in our employing, and we take the back of the bus. We go to the back of the bus, we put the children ahead of us, we put our families ahead of us, our husbands ahead of us, all of that. And it kind of goes back to somebody said earlier about putting the oxygen mask on first. And so I really work with people at getting them to really bring themselves back up to the front of the bus, because they are as valuable as everybody on the bus. And because I saw a lot of stuff when I was younger, a lot of confusing messages with the church, I really developed a relationship with God at a very young age. I felt that's where my gifts from. I was always asked, my mother would say, where do you get this stuff from? And why would you think that? And I would talk about how we pick our families, that we come here and we pick our families and we pick our parents before we incarnate. And she'd say, nobody would pick this family. And I'd say, yeah, we're here as souls together. And a little beautiful part about that story was before my mom left us, just days before, she said to me, Diane, will you please do me a favor? And I said, for sure, Mom, what is that? And she said, can you tell me that story about how you picked me as your mom again? And that was so profound to me. That's something I had been saying for probably 30 years that I actually realized it actually had impacted my mom. It had made a difference to her. And I think that we have to, the big thing for me in the story and for everybody is that we are so much more. It's like the iceberg. We're just we see a little bit on the top, but we're so much more. And I really encourage people to bring their spiritual self into their work and their story, because otherwise it's just so third dimensional. And I think that's why people have low confidence and have poor self-esteem and get put at the back of the bus and take the crumbs. And I just was never good at that. And I stayed that way my whole life. So it's just a muscle I know I was meant to build to be where we are today. And I have a lot of issues, and I faced a lot of medical tyranny through going through cancer twice and some other stuff. And so I feel like this is another thing that God prepared me for, is to really stand up and take charge of your life, take charge of your health, take charge of your choices. I was treated very poorly because I chose not to do what they wanted me to do when I went through cancer. And that really just built my muscle up even more. So, yeah, I hope that answered your question.
This is absolutely incredible. I think you, just by sharing all of this, you were sharing such experience, which I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people going through the cancer at this moment, and will find this very inspirational, and not always. I just love that. Not settling, not going with a 3D mindset where we haven't been thought to really think the how, but what. So I truly love that you shared that with us. Angelica, I think you have a question to Diane.
Yes, I mean, Diane, you know, when you were experiencing your life, you know, and intuition, you know, is a big piece that we all carry. You know, we're all very intuitive, some more than others because we really connect with that part of us. But it helps us and guides us in so many ways. I always call it, it's our inner GPS, you know,
Yeah.
and we have to listen to that inner GPS because it guides us in so many ways on how to make the right decisions. And it's a very, sometimes very soft voice, so we doubt it. So what would you say about people that doubt their inner GPS or their inner wisdom?
Well, I think I look at it as it's no different than any muscle. You can't expect a muscle to be strong if you never use it. So it's no different. To me, intuition and the power of it comes but just by practice, doing different things. There's different techniques. It's trusting in your gut instinct, following your gut instinct, recognizing that anything outside of ourselves is just a perception. It's somebody else's perception. And so when you have that kind of inner confidence and you know God's got your back, it doesn't really matter if anyone else does. That's the gravy in life. But that God's always standing right next to you, and that it's his intuition. And I'll give you just an example. I took I went into some counseling after the second time I went through cancer, and I had told the lady, I said, I really came here so I could, kind of talk about what brought this on for me to have this happen to me twice. And she said, well, you don't think you did anything to bring this on? And I said, well, I believe that stuffed feelings is dis-ease and things like that. And she said, well, I can't, I'm not allowed to talk to you about that. I just need you to talk about your cancer. So I said, so you want me to come here as a victim so I can talk to you and the government will pay for it. But if I want to talk about my soul and my spirituality, and she said, no, we're not entitled. That doesn't do anything. Like, we can't talk to you about that. The government won't pay for us to talk. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I won't be getting any counseling. And so I literally got up and left. And I'm like, what? They needed me to be a cancer victim. Oh. And that doesn't work for me. I always believe that God brings us something to awaken our soul. I got to evaluate everything in my life when I was diagnosed with cancer. I got to evaluate my thoughts, my relationships, where I was muddy in my world, where I was clear in my world, what type of friendships I had, what I watched on TV. It's like food in, food out. And so I think it's just a muscle. It's just building a muscle of yourself, and then knowing that when I do that, God has my back. And then you don't look for a third party, as somebody in the world to bring that validation to us. Like I said, I think that's the gravy, the icing, not the cake itself.
So that's powerful, because people need to know to connect to their deeper, wiser self, which to me, it's God, right? But people can call it the universe, intuition,
sure.
Whatever. But it is a deeper strength within us that helps us make the right decisions. And then it guides us to be visionary leaders, to really step into our greatness, and gives us strength. So thank you for that. For those of you that are listening, you have to come and get this book. It is every woman in this book. We have 20 phenomenal ladies that tell their story, but in such a way on how it shaped them and carved a path and led them to where they are right now. And that's magical. So we're recommending that you pick up the book, you read it, and you share it with friends and families.
You bet.
Yes. Can you share your quote with us?
Yeah. I've had this one in my hip pocket for as long back as I can remember, because I really learned really, really early in life. And my quote is, nothing heals or changes in denial. It's just as simple as that. And because the truth about that is, if you are in denial of anything, you can't impact it. You can't affect it. You can't change it. You can't look it in the eye. You want to have it shoved in a drawer and think, as long as it's shoved in a drawer, it's like the closet that you finally open and everything pours out. Denying that there's an elephant in the room, denying that we face tough stuff in the world. And so I really encourage everyone, no matter how hard the truth may be, it's something you can work with, because you can look at it. You can make better choices around it. You can evaluate the truth. Nobody can make a good decision out of a lie. And then if we deny there is a problem, those problems never get solved. They just get bigger and bigger and bigger. So nothing heals in denial is my sentence that probably people for 30 years could say, yeah, she's been saying that a long, long time. That was a foundation for me, was to look at things. Yeah.
Absolutely. And this book and writing these chapters has helped us go deeper in healing. So thank you. Thank you for saying yes and being here. And we're looking forward to connecting with you further. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Wow. Just talking about all the experiences these women bring into the book, and they're really golden nuggets right now. It's magnificent to listen to the stories.
Yeah, and really seeing that with better awareness, you just experience that with better awareness, you can see the cap, and that cap can save your life. So just very, very, very extent example at this very moment, if you paid attention to it.
Absolutely. Well, our next speaker, I don't know how many of you out there listening, you had pain, you had this struggle, and you just feel like, oh my God, like I cannot move from here. This next person will be talking about the life's work to help people transition from that place of pain so that they can live in their purpose by embracing healthy relationships and the relationship skills that we need. And this is Amber, who is the founder of From Pain to Purpose. So I'm going to go ahead and bring her up. She's also an amazing connection. In fact, she's the queen of smoothies, right? Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank you, Amber, and great to see you.
Thank you for having me.
With Amber, you cannot just read what she wrote. You need to experience who she is. And the way that she's going to answer my question will give you such power to step into your purpose. And stepping out from your pain is going to change your life now. She doesn't know what I'm going to do with her now. So be ready. But she, regardless, and that's exactly the point that I want to really show you. I want each one of you stand up. And the move of the superwoman. How do you stand? Let's do that. We have been sitting for 2 hours almost. So have your ground, put your hands on your waist, and now just close your eyes. And Amber is going to walk us through the moment that you feel that this is it. The pain is so strong, there is no way out. But yet you will find the faith in you to keep on going. Amber, the microphone is yours.
Wow, that is so powerful. And that is a place, first of all, thank you for this space, Renee Sanikas and Dr. Angelica Benavides, and to all of the phenomenal 20 women that are here today, along with myself, 2021. That is a place that a lot of people find themselves, and especially with everything going on in the world today, a place of pain. And, it might be a physical pain, an emotional pain, a financial pain, a psychological pain, a pain of depression, of anxiety, anguish, a pain of, torn down relationships in families. It might be So many types of pain. And a lot of people are stuck in that pain, reliving it day after day, not knowing how to push past the pain, how to rebuild the bridges, and how to get past to the place of healing. First, you have to forgive. Forgive yourself. You have to forgive those that hurt you, that harmed you. Forgive whatever the trespass was. God said that if we don't forgive our brothers and those that trespass against us, He wouldn't forgive us our trespasses. So we have to start with forgiveness. We're trying so hard to find understanding, but what we need to find is forgiveness. You're not going to be able to understand some of the pain that you're going through. You're not going to be able to understand why you're going through that pain. But we want you to know that there's purpose from your pain. Don't get stuck in the pain. Identify the pain. Is the pain a sharp pain? Is it a phantom pain, something that happened many, many years ago and you are revisiting and living in it over and over again? Is it a pain that is an acute pain? It's just sharp and intense and it comes out of some place that you don't know where the pain is coming from, or you may know. Identify your pain. You have to go to a doctor sometime and get a diagnosis, and then we get the prescription to help heal the pain. Sometimes we need to go to the doctor. We might go have to see a therapist. We might have to go see a whatever kind of doctor it is. But there's a doctor that you can see, that you can get to no matter what your pain is, and that's God. He is able to help heal your pain, no matter what that pain is. If you connect to that source of belief and faith, you can walk from your pain into your purpose. So push past the pain today. Forgive yourself. Forgive those that did whatever they did to you. You cannot get through to your purpose stuck in unforgiveness. You must forgive. Forgiveness yields healing. We want to be healed from the inside out. Yeah, we look beautiful today, but the outside means nothing if we are wrapped in pain on the inside, and not just physical pain, tormented. That's why people are taking their lives, committing suicide. Our young people, they're stuck in mental anguish and they don't have someone that they can reach out to help them. Let's do what we need to do so we can get healed, so we can be a vehicle and a conduit of healing for someone else. Remember, what you're going through or what you've been through is not about you. It's about who you're called to.
Well, I promised you extraordinary. And this woman has not stopped amazed me and surprised me in any step of the way. So I'm pretty sure that you just had a sneak peek of who she is, what she's capable of, and more than anything else, in order to make the shift in your life, in your circumstances, in whatever or wherever you are, is that voice, the voice of someone who knows what you're going through. And those words, I promise you, are in those chapters. Sometimes you need to read that chapter for 10 times, because every time you're going to find something new which awakens something in you to step into your power and say, no more. I'm done with the pain. And I'm just stepping into my faith. I read your chapter, and every time I was like, damn, writing, crying, writing, crying, because I was actually speaking to myself, the inner child in me, and really connecting with something which emotionally was very hard to do. But there's times that you need to do in order to really move forward. So absolutely amazing. I want to celebrate you. I want to celebrate the work that you have been doing and you keep on doing. Keep on really truly pushing through despite all the challenges, despite everything that has happened, you are absolutely amazing, and there's nobody who can tell you any different. So I'm very proud of you for everything that you do, and not just in your community, but you're impacting in a global level. So really, truly believe the impact and listen what people are saying. So congratulations. I dropped the microphone now.
And congratulations, because Amber is not only impacting women, but she is creating generational impact. And that is huge, because it's not what we do today, but it's what we leave behind for our generations to come, so that our children's children can see how we went through struggles, and then how did we come out of it. And then she is touching them right now, and at the same time leaving that generation message, which is powerful. So thank you, Amber. Tell us a little bit more, and why youth?
Well, that's a calling that God has called me to. I have loved working with youth for over 30 years. So in my chapter, The Passionate Pursuit of Purpose, I collaborated some words about myself. One of the things that people always talk about is my passion, how they can feel, even if it's over the phone, how they can feel my passion through the phone. Because when I start speaking about things that are a part of what means something to me, and the assignment that God has placed upon my life, it just excites me. And sometimes I get a little loud, or I might get a little, just my voice just takes on the form of an excited person, because the call of God that's upon my life is way past what something that I might have desired or something that I wanted to do. I am walking in what God has called me to do. So in promoting this, being a co-author of this fabulous book, Visionary Women Leaders, Discovering the Greatness Within You, I took it back to her journey. That little girl, I dug a little deeper this time. And when you go to therapy, I think my chapter is part like maybe a therapeutic, because when you go to therapy, they take you a lot of times back to your childhood, where things began, and how things happened and took place. So that's kind of what was my journey this time, without giving it all away. So in order to work with youth, I went back to my youth to speak about who they said that little girl was back then, and how prophetically I'm walking in that now, not even knowing that my voice, as a talkative little girl, that my voice was going to be used to help heal people, to help people transition from pain to purpose, to help people to be able to open up doors of collaboration for youth all over this world. Youth are our now. You ask why youth? Everybody say they are tomorrow, but they are leading right now. If you look all around, even through this pandemic, so many young entrepreneurs, but those creative and talented young people may be so creative on one hand, and so intelligent, and so such have such an entrepreneurial insight and vision. But on the other hand, they're dealing, a lot of them, with so much turmoil. They're dealing with a lot of society issues that have plagued them, family issues, generational curses that we're trying to help them break and destroy, not just break, but obliterate them. Because when something is broken, it can be put back together. But when it's annihilated and obliterated, it cannot be put back together. So we're trying to create a platform and collaborative opportunities to lift them up, help them to receive training and skills, and everything that they need, development, to walk in that success that they need as a leader in the world today. Not to have that selfish spirit that the world and society perpetuates all through social media, that fake imagery. We want to deal with the real, what's really happening in their lives. So youth, that's one area that God has given me. in addition to domestic violence and teen dating violence, where I'm working in the community and in the global arenas.
Thank you so much, Amber. Thank you. I mean, you're amazing, and the power in your voice, I mean, we can just hear it and we can feel it. And it's like our whole being just vibrates with even your prayers. I mean, she is one of the individuals that I will call into some of my events so she can come and pray and open up and close sometimes. And because I feel it myself, I want her to share her prayer with the world. So thank you, Amber.
Thank you. It's an
In
honor to
fact,
be
if you
with
could
you.
do like a minute prayer, I would really appreciate that for
Oh,
the
sure.
sure.
Sure. You want me to pray now?
Yes.
Oh, Lord, we just thank you. God, we come to you in the name of Jesus Christ today. First of all, we thank you for this vision that has come about, gathering these women, these phenomenal women with so many powerful stories together on a collaborative effort and project, the Visionary Women Leaders book, Discovering the Greatness Within Us. As we have poured out our hearts and our stories and parts of our lives in these chapters, we ask that this book will go around the world, that it would touch men, women, girls, and boys, and that they will be able to be inspired, educated, empowered, and to be transformed from where they are to where you desire them to be. Let hope be in this book. Let belief be in this book. Let joy be found in this book. Even through the tears that may be shed from reading different stories, let those tears be therapeutic, because we know that you bottle every tear that is shed. God, we thank you for the visionaries, Dr. Angelica Benavides and Regne Senekis, for them having the vision to bring us together as co-authors. We thank you for the sacrifice of our time, our talent, and our treasure that has been put forth into this project. We ask that you bless every woman, pour back into her, God, for the sacrifice that she has given, the time that she has taken, the talent and the treasure that she has invested in this book. This is an investment in our lives and in the lives of those who will be touched through our life story. We ask that you will open up even more opportunities for all these women, oh God, that they will be able to have platforms to speak and interviews and news interviews and whatever it is that you desire, but to let it be for your glory, God. We thank you for those that will come after me, that will be interviewed. Use them and let them be, their story bless those that will hear. Let this be shared all over the world. And we give your name the glory, the honor, and the praise for having us to be a part of this book, God. In Jesus' name we pray. Thank God. Amen.
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 Thank you. Thank you. And she is amazing. She is the queen of smooshies. Thank you.
Queen of smooches.
Yes.
Yes,
Now, give us
that's
a
a
big
part of my passion.
well, give us your quote because we're ready to go to the next speaker and I don't want her to leave. So
Okay.
I want you to enter with your quote.
My quote is, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. In the world that we're living in, it's wonderful to have degrees, it's wonderful to have letters behind our name and money in the bank and all of that good stuff. But if you do not care about the people who you're leading and who you has been assigned to your hand, you're doing it for naught. We must care and let people know that we love them and we care about them and we're here to serve.
Amen, sister. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for joining
Thank
us.
you. Smooches. Thank you, everyone that tuned in to support me. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Thank you. Wow, her energy is just remarkable. I mean, we can go on with her energy forever. And the next person, I mean, you see, when you step into your vision and your greatness, you will begin to connect with many, many people. This next person, she is the CEO of the Global Trade Chamber, an international chamber helping entrepreneurs and companies to start, grow, and explore new global markets. The multi award winner has received public recognition from local, national, and foreign governments, non public organizations, and varies multiple national companies. Now, she is the founder, of 100 Successful Women in Business network that empowers, inspires, connects, and recognizes women worldwide. She is an international business trainer and international speaker. With us, we have Maria Rene Davila. Yay, Maria!
Hey, how are you? With that introduction, I wasn't sure who you were talking about.
You're like, that's me?
Is that me? Hi, I'm so glad to be with you, Dr. Angelica Ragne. I mean, long time no see, Ragne. How are you?
Well, here to serve, and the same. Have been missing you. So, Maria, with all just which was reminded you the greatness within you and the outside. Sometimes, people from outside can see us and say, "It's so easy for her. She has it all. She's winning in the world." But a lot of people do not know what you were willing to do in order to get there. And not everybody is willing to really do the things that are needed because it's too much. What would you say based on your chapter that you wrote? What are the three key takeaways from your chapter that you want the whoever showed up today to hear us, that they would come back and really have the understanding of those key factors?
Thank you so much for the question. And before I answer this very interesting question, I'm so glad to be here with this amazing book, be one of the contributors for this book. And I was listening, all the previous speakers, and I was just amazed to hear what they have to say. And actually, I was taking notes because one of the things that I learned in my life is to learn all the time from somebody else, because I don't know everything. I don't have the answers for everything. So what I do is to just listen. I learned to listen because before I was just talking all the time. But now, with years, with experience, and with a lot of mistakes, I learned to listen. So definitely all these co-authors of the book are amazing, and I learned a lot today from them. I'm sure that when I start reading the book in detail, I'm going to learn much more. Answering your question, one time, I remember always this. Some time ago, somebody told me, Maria, you can't have it all. And then, I look at that person and I said, you know what? I cannot have it all at the same time, but I can have it all. Because you need to look for, what you really want in life, and you need to set your goals and try to reach your goals one by one. Why you cannot have it all? Don't underestimate yourself. Always try to do the same for you. Try to focus on a goal. Try to accomplish that goal, and don't get disappointed in the way. Don't get discouraged on the way. And one of the things also that I learned, because I started when I was 17 years old, and believe me, I went through a lot. From people that basically didn't believe in me because I was too young, from people that really saw something and a good potential on me. So I can tell you that the 3 secrets for me to succeed in life. Number 1, always be ambitious on what you really want in life. Don't feel bad because somebody else is doing, I don't know. In my case, when I was 17 years old, my friends were doing, they were going to parties, having fun with friends. In my case, I was working and trying to think how I was going to make money and pay the overhead of my company. So it was a kind of different thing. But I didn't feel bad about it because I was thinking like, I don't want to waste my time going to Paris when I can actually do something else with my company. I can grow my company. And I really did that. I focused on that. I believe on myself. I didn't give up on that. And through the time, I really had good results. People start believing on what I do. I had great companies working with me. And, I start developing more areas in my business. So my first secret on that, I will say, is that don't get discouraged. Keep going. You can do it. The second thing is learn all the time. Listen, learn all the time from somebody else. In life, there is always somebody else that knows more about you. I'm sorry, more about something else, which is good because that's the way you learn. Listen, learn, and try to apply things that you really believe on. The third secret for me is to have the right partners in your life. Always try to look for people that has the same synergy, and you can feel that. Even with Dr. Angelica, we were talking a few days ago about the energy and the days, and what is the best day to do something. And I believe on that. You can feel the energy when you meet somebody. Immediately if you have that connection or not. And if your instinct is telling you, you know what, don't do business with this person, that's the first thing that you should do. Follow your instincts. Don't do business with that person if you don't feel comfortable. If at the very beginning you see that that person is going to be complicated or there's going to be something that is not going smooth, it's better to stop, keep the relationship, but don't start a business encounter, with that person.
Yeah.
Now, as a CEO, which is one of the things that is in the chapter, the keys to succeed is definitely to have a good management. As a, let's say, manager of the chamber, I've been doing this for 14, 15 years now. I have seen a lot of companies that, especially, small business, they want to start a company. They know what they do the best in their expertise, but they don't know how to manage the company. But the problem with the small business is that they are trying to do everything, so they multitask. And the problem with that, believe me and learn, is not a good secret. Don't be multitask anymore. Try to focus on one thing only and delegate the rest. That's the best way for you to grow, because you cannot do everything and do everything right. If you try to do, too much, you're gonna just do bad. It's better to focus in one thing and then find partners, find the employees, or find people, subcontract people that can help you grow your business. Another thing for a small business is the lack of knowledge in some other areas like accounting or time management or leadership. So my advice for the small businesses, always try to look for training, additional training. The government, the cities, all that the federal government or the state is, providing free training for companies to learn more about something specific, like, taxes or etc. So always try to get, all these free trainings or events like this, women like this, books like this that are going to help you to open your mind, grow your spirit, grow your knowledge. But what is the most important part in your life is to find balance. I've been doing interviews with the success stories, and I had the pleasure to interview Ragne, Angelica, and a lot of ladies. But what is the common ground in all these interviews? That everybody's trying to look for balance. Balance, balance, balance. You cannot just focus on one thing, and because you don't have that balance, you need to find the balance in your life to be happy, right? So that I will say that another thing that you should be doing in your life is to find the balance to have time to work, balance for manage, your family, balance to have time for yourself. You need to treat yourself. And that's extremely important, especially now in the stressful era that we're living. Right now, I mean, it's super difficult to have peace. You are working full time, especially if you want to have an entrepreneur, you're basically having your business 24/7. So you need to deal with your company 24/7, receiving calls at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. And now with the globalization and the time zone, you maybe in California is 9 a.m., but here's 12. So you need to pick up sometime calls, because you can actually lose opportunities, lose money. But everything is balanced. With the technology is another thing. It's going crazy, like WhatsApp, Facebook, you're receiving messages all the time. So try to have your own schedule to answer messages, WhatsApp or Facebook. It's not that you don't want to talk to people. It's just that you need to time for yourself and you need to time for work. So the messenger, the WhatsApp is part of your work. So put a specific time to answer all those messages. So just, try to organize your time. Time management is extremely important. I will say that is another key to succeed in your business. But I know that we have a very short time. And read the book if you want to learn more about how to grow your spirit, how to grow your mind, but especially how to grow your business.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Exactly. So she just over delivered. Thank God. I was like, okay, what do we do now? She's almost giving everything away. So what do we do? Should I
Yeah.
she just over delivered. That's what being of service really truly means. So Maria, what is your quote? What you want to leave the audience with?
Oh, well, never give up. Believe me, if you keep trying. But the secret is try, but not in the same way. If the first time didn't work, try another way. You can keep trying, but try different ways. Otherwise, you are not making any difference to achieve your goal. So don't give up, but try different ways until you reach what you want.
Right. That's powerful, because people need to know that many times we do fail, but it's not that you're failing. Sometimes it's not even the right time, or we didn't put the right ingredients in it. So we have to keep trying until we get the right thing that we want. So thank you, Maria, because I know your schedule is super busy. I know that we've kind of gone a little bit over, but we want to make sure that we get everybody on the spotlight, because your message, your story is powerful, and we want people to know that and to be able to get the book. So thank you. And hopefully Maria will be in Texas very soon in May. So we're looking forward to that and making that big connection here in Texas, Maria. Thank you again for saying yes and being in this book.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, and it's an honor for me to be part of this book. Thank you, Ragni.
Thank you. Oh, sorry. The next person is also an amazing person. I mean, I can keep saying that over and over and over again, but I truly mean it. This person has been helping and empowering orphans, disadvantaged children, and women. She has sponsored more than 500 orphans and underprivileged children basic needs and education from third world countries like Philippines, Cambodia, Vietnam, Uganda, Liberia, Zimbabwe, and currently she is in the process of expanding her orphanage facilities in the Philippines to provide shelter for more than 300 orphan girls and accommodate them for their educational need. With us, we have Sarifa. Sarifa, let's go ahead and bring you in. Are you here, Sarifa? I'm hoping she's here. Sarifa, hello. Let's see. I don't know if she's here.
She is.
She is, but she probably walked away for a minute. So we'll be back with her. So give us a minute. We're going to bring up another amazing lady that has been very powerful. I mean, I've been following her work, and she has a very, very special talent for merging science and spirituality. She can spot the unique original selling point in a leader or speaker in their special message for the world. She helps coaches, leaders, speakers to become pioneer paradigm shifter. Her ability to integrate science and spirituality leads to articulating higher dreams and possible solutions. With us, we have Hellenique. Welcome, Hellenique, and thank you for being here.
Hello, beautiful ladies. Hello, everybody on the call listening. It's really exciting to be with all of you on this Friday night here. It's freezing cold in Cyprus. We have snow for 2 days, which we never have because it's in the middle of the Mediterranean. So I think it's a very interesting time for us all to be together. So thank you for having me on the panel today and for including me in this really beautiful book. Are there any specific areas for us to cover, Angelica, or would you like me to just talk generally about my work?
No, we will go. We will make we will warm up the hearts, and we will warm up therefore the whole environment by creating a lot of energy around us. So, Eleni, people know you through different angles, and I know that one which you're very strong is impacting your community and everyone that you come across with, and leaving them better than they were before. But what would you say? What is in your opinion, the most, like, three most important thing to become the visionary leader?
Yeah, I'm glad you're asking me this because it's really a question that came through my mind as I was building up my career and really listening more and more to my deeper calling in life. And I think it's such an important time for us all to be listening more into the deepest part of our soul. We've heard many women say a version of this already. And in that time when I was questioning it, I decided to build a little formula that would help explain what I think were the key points. And we hear so much about women in decision-making positions, women in leadership, having a tough time being heard, being seen, having enough feminine wisdom out in the world. And because of that, there's been a lot of debate about what we could be doing to have more women in leadership positions. And so for me to be able to step into more of my own leadership and to then support women in my community and the systems out there to evolve to a level where they can include more feminine wisdom, I looked at this formula and I'd love to share it with you. So thanks for asking me to do it, because it's a really helpful way to capture what's really important. First is to build the visibility and publicity that you feel your work deserves. It's so hard for us to understand all the things that we can do, especially in a digital market right now. So it's good to find a few that are very manageable or very comfortable for you, that help build your presence out there in the marketplace, because you have a message. And I remember Dr. Angelica saying this beautifully on one of our collaborations, that your message really matters. And I loved how she said that, because I think it's a beautiful way to remember your value, is that what you are about, your message really matters. And it's very important that it's visible. When it's not visible, people cannot benefit from your wisdom. So how can you build that visibility and publicity? And as women, we need to actively pursue ways to do that, because we sabotage ourselves often. We have many ways in the world where we are not easily set up and positioned in places of visibility. So we have to work for our own visibility and our publicity. The second important thing is credibility and authority. I think it's really important to know what your power positioning is. What are you good at? What's your genius? What's your expertise? And what builds your credibility? How can people really trust in you for particular results? And how can you explain that in your marketing, in your messaging, and in the work that you're doing? What can you deliver time and time again? This is very important in helping us also build our integrity as professionals. We live in a world with lots of leadership that is distorted or that disappoints us. So it's really important for us to be able to build our integrity and to be able to stand in that, so we are credible and that we have authority in a particular industry. And the third thing, which I recently wrote a very deep article about it, a research-based article, is what I call unique intelligence, your originality. So we talk a lot about uniqueness, the unique selling point, how our message or our mission in life meets what the market needs. When you're building a business or when you're becoming more impactful as a leader, it's really important that you're listening and you're responding from what you yourself can bring that is unique to anyone else, that you are authentic in that you are really tuned into what's your gift. I remember previous speakers talking about our God-given talents and our gifts. We have special qualities in us that we need to develop and become very clear about, so that we can have a unique selling point, or we can articulate clearly, quickly to other people how we can help them in a special way. This is becoming very important in leadership as well, because we want to trust in the person and in the unique intelligence of that person that we want to be led by. So it's really important, I think, for women to step into becoming visionaries when they are building their visibility, working on your credibility, authority, and integrity, very important character building part. And then look at your unique intelligence. What is really special about you? How can you bring that into your leadership style? How can you be proud of that and stand true in it? I would say those three things.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Angelica.
Well, I know that you have an incredible community where you're helping and supporting women all over the world. Hellenique is from Cyprus, so we do have several women from around the world, and we are honored to have you in this book, Hellenique. So tell us, like, what quote do you want to leave people with, and then tell us the name of your chapters so that people can look for you.
Well, thank you. It's lovely to be included, and there are really interesting countries in this book sharing their wisdom, women from around the world. And the community I'm working with is global, but I also specialize in events here in Cyprus. And the quote that I have been building over time is that what we have been waiting for is really our own leadership. I think we've been projecting a lot as women out into the world that people fix the gender inequality and make space for us. But I think the truth is we are the ones that we've been waiting for. It's not my quote, it's someone else's. Mm-hmm. Barack Obama said it and a few others after that, but I think it's very true. We are the ones we've been waiting for. In fact, I am the one I'm waiting for. So you are your own heroine, your own hero in your own story. And it's very important to acknowledge that and step into it and take the power instead of waiting for others to prop us up. And then my favorite poet Rumi says, what you seek is seeking you. And so I believe this too, that in our search for a higher calling in life, to follow a higher purpose, we can really elevate our destiny. But it's a very powerful communion, a communication that turns into a communion, a sacred relationship between us and our full potential. How can we have this conversation with the mirror of life and look for what we can become, but know that what we are becoming is also waiting for us to become that. So it's important to connect that synergy. My chapter is all about elevating global female leaders, giving them a platform and a level of credibility and authority, as I mentioned before, for the wisdom they bring to the world. I think it's a very important time for the world to have womanly wisdom, and for us to be learning from women and the guidance they can bring with the softness, the care, the gentility, and the integrity that we need to be led by in these epic times on the planet.
Yeah.
Thank you to all of you for your work in pulling us all together and making this happen. It's been a labor of love, and it's been beautiful to be part of it.
Thank you. It's been such a pleasure having you in this book, and we're looking forward for people reading your book and your message, because it is huge. So thank you so much, Hellenique, and I will see you in Cyprus soon when we do this.
Yes, absolutely. Come and visit. Anybody listening, watching, get in touch. It'll be lovely to meet you all. Thank you again. Thank you, Ragnar and Dr. Angelica. Lovely working with you. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thanks. Ragnar, we have another amazing person, and we have Dr. Ingrid Vassiliou-Feltis, who is a healthcare, precision medicine, and deep tech executive, at a passionate educator, coach, mentor, and entrepreneurship in the ecosystem builder, who's an expert speaker and board advisor. So with us, I know that she has a very tight schedule, but those of you that are here, do not leave, because we have a surprise for you. Hello, Dr. Ingrid. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me, and thanks again for the opportunity to be part of this amazing launch event. I know how much work goes behind the scenes to not only put together the book, but also the event. So we appreciate all your hard work.
Beautiful. Ingrid, I have been following you for a while now. Everything going on, every single board that you are involved, you always seem to find a way to elevate others. And I have happened to felt that support from you as well. And I just I want to appreciate you, and I want to say thank you face to face, not just electronically. But others, how do you really do that? Because this is what the true empowerment really means, and this is what a visionary woman leader is. But put that in the context of very men focused industry, which is deep tech. A lot of people even do not understand what does it mean, what this industry means. So give us a little on that.
Sure. Well, thank you for the kind comments. And I don't know if I can share a little bit more about how I do it. The one thing is I don't get to sleep much. That's number one. But no, I do believe that together we can accomplish so much more. So I think that's important for everyone that watches us maybe to keep in mind that only by augmenting everyone's efforts, we can truly impact change and achieve a change in paradigm in the global ecosystem. Otherwise, if we just focus on our own interests, then unfortunately, we're not going to be able to. So that's to your first point. To the second point, in terms of deep tech, I have a natural curious mind. So that was what sparked my original interest in quantum and AI and blockchain and nanotech. But I came to realize that those emerging technologies are very powerful in driving not only the economy, but also driving innovation, entrepreneurship. And by offering them early on in our education system, I feel it's one extremely effective and powerful way to also help not only women, but also men later on in life in any career they have. So being aware of what emerging technologies we're surrounded with and how they affect our life on a daily basis, I think can help you, even if you are not an expert in deep tech, and even if you don't want to dedicate your life to deep tech. I feel they're so embedded now into the fabric of our daily DNA life that it's essential to understand it. And that then also helps you be protected from some of the negative consequences that we have. And as you know, I'm a big passionate advocate for digital ethics. And that's why I mention it, because we're all super enthusiastic. We always love to know how technology can enhance our life. But I always like to caution that there are a lot of negative things that can occur if we're not mindful and careful. So.
Well, thank you, Dr. Ingrid. What quote would you like to leave people with to be able to inspire them to step into their greatness and really be able to follow their dreams and their goals in life?
Sure. The quote that I chose for my chapter in your wonderful book is from Napoleon Bonaparte, who said that you never know how far you can fly until you spread your wings. And I can really say I wasn't as inspired as him to come up with that quote, but I lived it in my life. I was told all the time that you can't do this, this is impossible, don't even try, no one's gonna care, that you can't do that. And I want to urge all not only our audience, but everyone who will read the book to please not listen to those kind of comments and spread your wings, see how far you can fly. But yes, be mindful, get coaching, get mentorship, like all our beautiful colleagues have mentioned so far. And I think right before me, we had another very good advice. You want to always listen to, right? It took me also, just like her, many years to understand the importance of listening and having coaches and mentors that can guide you and help you, or just share their mistakes. So I think that's very important. And yes, the only other two quick elements, in addition to spreading your wings and seeing how far you can fly, I also think it's important to have moonshot thinking and an abundance mindset, because only by thinking further out for future generations we can really leave a legacy. And I think in my experience, it's always been more helpful to dream for more, and even if it's not all possible, I still achieved more than if I just set a smaller goal. So I truly interpret those in a very inspiring and motivational way, not in a limiting way.
I love it. Thank you so much for joining us. And it is so true. I mean, we don't know how far we can fly until we actually do it. So thank you for your message. And we're recommending that you get this book immediately and dive into Dr. Ingrid's chapter. She has an amazing story and amazing message to tell and share to inspire you so that you can reach that next level in your life. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, and thanks to everyone for participating. Have a beautiful day.
Thanks. Now, if you think all these people were amazing, wait to see our next guest. She is our special guest author and has sold more than 2.5 billion of products. And now she teaches her secrets to pitching through best-selling books and incredible training classes that I've taken. She is one of my coaches and inspires me all the time. So with us, we have Forbes Riley. Yay, Forbes, thank you.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for showing up. And
of course, are you kidding me? First of all, one of the golden rules, if you are a coach or a mentor, invest back into your students when they invite you to participate in something. Good idea, right?
Yes, that's a great idea. And I just want to say thank you, Forbes. All the time I've invited her to an event or to participate in this book, I've been one of her students and she says yes. Never questions, just says yes. And I'm amazed, Regne. I'm always like, did she say yes? And yes, here she is.
You know, what you do is you walk the walk. And I think that's really important. I think it's what a lot of people have not done. I am happy to be a groundbreaker and a disruptor, but I actually care about my students. I know almost all of their names. I now have 10,000 students that have registered since March of last year, 5,000 in our Facebook group. We've grown as a community, and I love that we are a community. You know, the woman that I plucked out of the dark, out of nowhere, is your editor. That's how Barb came into my life. She was a student of my beginning course, which I'm happy to offer everybody listening completely for free. I hesitate to do that because people show up more when it's not free. But if you go to www.askforbesriley, you can meet me, talk to me on Zoom. It's a pretty powerful place. And I was doing a book at the time, and Barb Facebooked me, and she said, "You sound very stressed. Is there anything I can do?" And I was interviewing pretty heavy hitter celebrities, and I said, "Yeah, would you just look at this chapter?" Well, she looked at it, reviewed it, handed it back to me. And I thought, damn, you just edited this thing. Is that what you do? She said, no, not really. I love, I've always thought about it. I said, well, here's a couple of other chapters. The next thing you know, my next book, she edited all 100 authors in 18 days. And so I'm excited that you guys are doing this project together. A big shout out to Barb Swan Wilson. And why wouldn't you want to be in a community where you support each other? I'm tired of the norm. I'm tired that it's normal that we get screwed over. It's normal that we don't get any customer service. It's normal that no. What, really? Mm-hmm. Why are we surprised when customer service is good? That is the backbone of every business, and not to say anything, but you can't call Facebook. I got hacked out for a long time. There's no numbers. There's no contact at all. Wow, that was a revelatory thing. They don't want to talk to their customers because we technically haven't paid them anything. And even though I buy Facebook ads, they didn't call me back. Uh-huh. So be different, be unique, walk to your own drummer. It's a pretty powerful place to be in. Sometimes a little lonely, but I'll tell you what, I've got people all around me that I never, ever imagined. I lift them up and then they turn around and lift me up and vice versa. And that is how you get to the top.
Mm-hmm. And now your chapter is Permission to Succeed. Like, that's amazing. I think that a lot of people need to hear your message because that is so true. Many times we don't step into our greatness because we feel we don't have permission to be great. So tell us more about that, Forbes.
Oh, let me tell you something. By the time you're in first grade, you heard no 1,000 times. Can I go to the bathroom? No. Can I speak? Can I leave without eating my dinner? No. You hear no, no. We've conditioned an entire culture to when you ask for something that you expect to get a no. How do I know this? Because people say to me, in my world, we manifest everything. In fact, we have a word for it called Forbesing it. What have you Forbes lately? To manifest something, especially when no one else thinks it's true. So, Angelica, I will get these calls going, Forbes, you can't believe it. I got blah, blah, blah. And I say to them, cancel, cancel. And they're like, what? I said, say cancel, cancel. Okay, cancel, cancel. As expected, this came into my life. It's not unbelievable. I'm sure you've said that as well. It's like, I can't believe this. Well, if you say that, why would you bother? Why did you do it in the first place? As expected, I put the time, the energy, the direction, and as expected, by the way, I'm going to become a doctorate in March. Now, it's pretty unbelievable, and I think it's amazing. But if I look at the trajectory, as expected, I'm in love with an amazing man. As expected. You know why? I did breakthrough training. I took time with people to uncover my past and other people's past so you could freely move forward. As expected, I'm living a really powerful, amazing life. I'll tell you what, when you keep talking about how negative life is, as expected, your life will suck. Your choice. Permission to succeed is about you deciding, looking in the mirror with nobody else there, having an honest conversation with you. Hey, you, the one I'm talking to, right? That's your face, my face. We get it. You. I'm going to grant you permission to lose those 25 pounds and stop complaining about them. I'm going to grant you permission to leave that abusive partner who puts you down. I'm going to grant you permission to leave the job even though you don't know what's next. I'm going to grant you permission to believe that you're enough, or that you're more than enough. And when and only when you believe it, and I believe in that word, permission. You know, I'm not sure if I tell the story in the book, but 22 years ago this month, my dad had been diagnosed with cancer. He'd suffered for a couple of months, and he was in the hospital in Sloan Kettering in New York. And it was my turn to babysit, to watch, to stay there all night in a very uncomfortable chair. 2:00 in the morning, nurse comes in and she said, call your mom and your sister, your dad's dying. And I'm like, I'm sorry, how the hell would you know that? So because there's a way that they breathe when that happens. And I'm like, I made the phone call, and then I stood there and I'm hysterical crying because I don't want my dad, the man that I love more than anything at that point, to leave. You can't leave me. Where are you going? And I said, like, please don't leave. Please don't leave. And she walked in. She said, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't want him to go. And she said, oh no, you have to do the opposite. I'm like, what's the opposite of please don't go? She said, you need to grant him permission. And I think I said some expletive, like, just screw that. That's not happening. And she looked at me and she said, you have a choice. If you truly love him and don't want him to suffer, give him permission to go. And I sat there for a while by myself in the middle of the night in a New York City hospital. Snow's outside, all alone with my dad, who helped bring me into that earth 40 years before that. And I know how much he stood for me and always helped me. And I said, Dad, I love you so much. I'm going to grant you permission to go. Go see your dad, who you lost when you were a young man, and I'll see you again. He sat up, did a little cough, laid down, and he was gone. Permission is everything in life. And you don't need to wait for someone else to grant it for you. You don't need permission to be successful. You need to look in the mirror and make it all about you. And there you go.
Well, I mean, yeah, you left me with a knot in my throat. So,
did you drop the microphone?
Yeah, we can drop the microphone on that because it's the basis of everything. It changed everything in my life. It allowed me to be daring. I don't ask permission. I ask forgiveness. I wasn't supposed to do that. That's all right. I got what I wanted. I don't think most people do that. They stop with the word no. Get out a piece of paper and a pen right now if you're listening to this and write down the word no. N-O. It means never-ending opportunity. Get all the no's that you can. Sure, you said no, and then turn it around and say, by the way, I appreciate that you gave me a no, but what would it have taken to get a yes? Very often they'll tell you. You can turn it around right there. I've gotten yeses in the moment right after the person said no. Or you can come back later, but don't let no be what stops you. Let no be what invigorates you.
Forbes, how many times have people tell you that, you know, it's easy for you because they see the outer life of you because you already have the success and you already have what they sort of want But what would you tell them in order to them understand that the only way in between of what they desire and where they are is their own mind?
I would tell them to get a small rowboat and some scuba gear with a mask and go hunt down an iceberg. Because all the iceberg is, you see the very top of the iceberg, right? Must be a very little iceberg. And then you look under the water and you see this massive foundation so that that little teeny piece can pop up out of the water. If someone were as naive, and I'm sorry, but in business you don't get to be naive to say, "Wow, you have it all." Then go read my bio or learn about me, and you will hear every reason in the world why you would not want to be me. The me that you see now, turning 62 in April, is a woman who lost her bonus son because he was murdered, who was in a jury trial, and my picture was on my wedding photo because he was my best man, was on the cover of the LA Times. His killer is serving 52 years to life in jail. You want to be with me then? You want to be with me when both of my parents died from smoking? And I can go down the list. You want to be with me the night of October 1st when I witnessed with my iPhone the Las Vegas shooting from the balcony 10 floors above the guy who was killing people at a concert down there? Now, Angelica asks, what's your favorite quote? You are the sum of the obstacles you overcome. I know I'm on this planet right now, and I know why I'm in this book and doing what I do. For the same reason you asked that question. It's not easy for any of us. I know billionaires who commit suicide. So if you think having all the money is the answer, it's not. I know beautiful women who in their 20s and 30s could stop traffic, who in their 40s and 50s are miserable because they don't have that shallow beauty anymore, because they never took time to build what really is inside. I'm talking to women who put plastic in their breasts. I have very little breasts, and you know what? I love them. And I got offered many times, oh, you should make those bigger. I'm like, I'm not putting something that I don't even, why would you put something like that into your body to please what? Some aesthetic that doesn't even work. And I've got now girlfriends dying from that shit who've got silicone in their, no, let me tell you something. It's not meant to be easy. I love when people say, life's not fair. Do me a small favor. When you find the little book that says life is fair, let me know, because I haven't read it and I don't know where it is, but I don't expect it to be fair. I expect it to be. You come into this world, by the way, it sucks. You come into this world that's beautiful, healthy, if you're lucky, maybe not even healthy. And next thing you know, you're slapped. You're a boy, you're Jewish, you're Catholic, you're this, they took that little being and slapped her with all these stickers. And now you're running around going, but I don't believe. No, you believe. No, I don't want to sit down in school. I have twins. My son was in second grade at a very expensive private school. The teacher called me in and she said, your son's a little disruptive. I said, what do you mean? So I sat in class and they're 8-year-old boys. I'm sorry. What universe do you think you sit an 8-year-old boy in a chair for 40 minutes getting him to do something? Why would you even do that? Let's change the school system, because 8-year-old boys should run around. Little kids should be able to dream, but they're not. They're strapped in a chair and told to do this. And I'm not sure what mold you need to fit into. But my daughter, who's 19 years old and runs my company, grossed $1.2 million at age 17 to 18. Okay? She hasn't gone to college because she's only 19 now. So you have to go to college and get an education to get a job? You know, we went to her guidance counselor when she was a sophomore. I get another call, your daughter's being disruptive. I'm like, all right. By the way, you don't want to call me into a teacher's office and tell me what my kid's being, because I'm going to get all over you. And she said, well, I said, what's going on? Well, we're all having to fill out our resumes because we're going to what kind of job you're going to get. And I said, what did my daughter say? She said, she's never getting a job. I said, yeah, what's wrong with that? She said, well, you have to get a job out of college. That's what you need a resume for. I said, it's so funny. I've grossed a little over $2.5 billion in my career. And oops, I've never had a job resume. I've never actually worked for anyone else. How much did you earn last year? My daughter is actually freaking out. I don't think I was this aggressive about it, but I was aggressive enough to going, look, my daughter says she's never going to need a resume because she won't. You grow somewhere between $30,000 and $60,000 a year. My daughter grossed that last year and she's 13. Huh. Now, I didn't mean to pick on that woman, but it made a great story for the rest of you to hear. Stop telling other people what box they should fit in. Stop telling other people anything. Why do other people spend any time out of their day hating on other people? Because their life's not interesting enough. Go make your life more interesting. Go jump, take challenges, be creative, or play safe. I don't care what you do, but stop telling me that I can't do what I want to do. So there you go.
There you go. And I just want to say that, in my chapter, we all had to select a visionary leader that we admired. And Forbes, you're mine, you know. And I'm going to tell you why really, really quick. She had her house blow up with the movie Die Hard. And to me, that shows that she's brave, she's courageous, she's a risk taker. And that's exactly who I want to be. You know, I want to be that risk taker and courageous person. In fact, she has a very humble heart, very loving. You saw those tears are real. I've seen them over and over and over again with her students and even with me. Now I want to get teary. But, you know, she helped me tap into my self-love again in one of the classes and talking about breast. And I want to thank you for this because you're the real deal. She's the real deal. So I can't say enough great
You
things
know,
about
it's funny,
you because I
Angelica, when I look, so, and when I look at your branding now and I look at the style and the colors and all the crazy stuff, the little things that we do, it's spectacular and you know it. And it's an evolution and it's come a long way. And I'm very proud to be a mentor to anybody, because there were times, and it's funny that you mentioned that moment. You guys should look up something very funny. If you go to YouTube and type "Die Hard Explodes My Home," way back when, my kids were just, so it was 15, 16 years ago. My house was too small. My property was big, but I needed to build a bigger house for my kids. They only had 2-bedroom house. And the architect said, well, to knock it down costs $25,000. I said, how do you get a mortgage on something you're knocking down? And then I said, why don't we just blow it up? He said, what do you mean? I said, the movie Die Hard, the Lethal Weapon, they blew up a house not far from here. Why can't we just do that? He said, well, I don't know how to do that. I said, please don't say I don't know. I don't either, but I'm going to go figure it out. And I went online, and the next thing you know, knock at my door. It's the movie Die Hard, Live Free or Die Harder, the 5th one. They looked around and said, if you can be out in 8 days, we're going to blow up your house and we'll give you 25 grand as a bonus. Now, it's funny thing about that story. I videotaped it long before iPhones. I had to put a real big video camera because I had a vision. I love having visions. You all have visions. You just don't acknowledge them because we're taught not to. Follow your visions. And I said, when my kids are grown, they're like 3 years old now. One, they need to know their mommy blew up their house. And just in case they're dating someone I don't like, I'm going to go, McKenna, I blew up your room once before. I'm liable to do it again. Now, that's just a joke, but it was one of the reasons I did this video. Well, you know what's some funny thing, Angelica? It was a powerful story. It was out of the box. It blew up my past. 8 days after that, it was December 2008. Do y'all know what happened that week? The housing market crashed and I blew up all the equity in my home. I was upside down and I had no house to sell. My family and I moved into a tiny little 1,000-square-foot guest house in the back corner of my property. We ended up living there for 2 years. Were we happy? Just as happy as I am now living in a huge mansion. I'll tell you what, it wasn't the size of the house in the first place. I had 2 beautiful, healthy kids. The market had crashed, but as my accountant always said to me, he said, Forbes, you always you live below your means. I said, no, baby, let me share something with you. When the market crashes, I want to be able to sleep at night. Nobody needs the fanciest dress or the brand new car every year or the biggest house on the block. You need love, personal respect, and a mission to get you out of bed every day. I've got that. I'm good, and you should be too.
Wow. Thank you, Forbes. You're amazing. You're incredible. And I can keep you here for hours. You know that.
I know, but
and I know you got to go.
By the way, congratulations on the book. Congratulations to all my women in the book. Visionary. That's what I said. You all should have a vision. Well, everyone in this book does. I feel very honored and blessed, and I will show up whenever you ask me because you are also a woman who leads with her heart, who's very, very passionate, and with a little coaching, oh my God, and that's what we all need, by the way. I do it as well. You are the coffee in your own cup. Dare to enroll a mentor. Dare to come to class on Sunday. www.ask Forbes Riley, completely free. I'll meet you on Zoom, and you'd be surprised how much we might be able to up-level your life, right? Mm-hmm. But I know you up-leveled mine, so thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you. She will up-level your life, your business, your soul. And she's hard. She's bold. But at first she was scary to me. It was like, oh, I don't want her to see me. But she's like, turn on your cameras, you know?
Don't say that. Am I scary?
You are. But then once you get to know her, you love her. You will love her. So again, thank you, Forbes, so much. Thank you so much for being here and saying yes all the time I reach out to you.
again, I really truly hope that everybody, you were making notes. If you didn't, then just go back to the video and do it, because again, the story has the power to change your life today. So and take the action, already showing up this weekend in your life and in the class. So thank you very much for joining us today, and thank you for being part of this book. Truly appreciate you and everything that you do.
Thank you, Forbes. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. As all of you have seen, I mean, we have powerful women in these books, and Forbes Riley is one of them. So you will need to get this book, read her chapter, and not only read the chapters, but make the connections, because it's the communities that you and the people you surround yourself with that will boost you to that next level. There's techniques, there's strategies, mindset. There's things that we don't know right now that these women will be able to empower them and be able to boost them up when they need that boost. You know, I had no idea I needed a little more healing. And I thought I was like, okay, already healed. And then she taps into an area of my life that I had no idea I hadn't been healed. So that's how powerful she is. She's very intuitive, very insightful. So connect with Forbes Riley. Now, we do have another woman that we had called her a few minutes ago. And I know that we've taken longer than expected, but I don't care, because you need to connect with these women. We talked about Sarifa, who has been helping empowering orphans and disadvantaged children and women around the world, and she is with us right now. So we're going to bring her up. Sarifa, thank you, Sarifa, for coming back. And our apologies, but we're here and we're going to keep going.
Now you know, and now you will understand what showing up really means. It's in the middle of the night for her. She is in Australia, and she shows up for you in order for you to really, truly tap into your power. Sarifa, I have the honor to know you virtually, unfortunately still, but through many, many different collaborations that we have been able to do with you. And I have always admired your consistency in everything that you do, and really truly finding the ways how to spread the message for those who cannot speak up for themselves. The work that you and your husband are doing is absolutely amazing. So what inspired you to write this chapter, and why should people read your chapter?
Thank you very much, Dr. B and Ragnar, for the support and empowering work that you've been doing for the women. We are where we are because also of your support, like women, the women before us and the women you are today. My chapter, which is Succeeding Without Boundaries, is a memoir of struggle and achievement. It is a message of hope, resilience, and success. And I have shared strategies in this chapter, or steps towards higher self-awareness and self-transformation. And it is always my mission to empower those disadvantaged women and young girls to become, to transform them into global effective leaders. Succeeding Without Boundaries is a guide on how to draw our strength and energy through our obstacles and realizing our true potential as women. This will teach all women and girls to transform themselves into, as I said, a successful global leader, and to achieve self-awareness of their true strength and purpose through self-transformation, so they become leaders in their own right. This, in essence, my chapter is about life story growing up as an orphan, how I clung on education and succeed despite obstacles along my way. It's a message about what you think is possible, as Oprah Winfrey believed that you had a hand in getting to where you are, and you also have a hand in where you go next. It means for me, you had a choice to make a decision where you are today. And also, the decision you make today will determine the outcome of your future. In my first book, and I would like to share it here, The Love Your Obstacle, I did share my story how I believe from a very young age that everything is possible. When you face your obstacle head on, it, it's about the process of acknowledging and understanding the existence of an obstacle and how I draw my strength and inner power from the obstacle of being an orphan and plowing through different forms and shapes and layers of obstacles along my life journey that fuels my energy to keep going. So, in my chapter of this book, I did also share the story of Oprah Winfrey, how she believes that nothing could stop her drive to become more, and how success starts and ends with a mindset without boundaries. Then, having the secret practices and strategies that help me harness and transform my thinking and nurtured my curiosity, inspired me to share them to those who may need it. And I believe that I am successful today due to those obstacles that I went through that set me up as victorious instead of being a victim of my circumstances. And I see no boundaries to succeed in life. And that's my greatest secret. I believe that every obstacle can either be a source of misery or a victory. It's how we grounded ourselves and stand above the bottom line. When I lost both my parents at the age of 10, I needed to study hard as my mother used to remind me that education would drag me out of misery. And I clung to this possibility like it was my last breath. That one sentence filled me with hope and gave me a reason to live, to believe that I had a purpose and I could one day make a difference. I wasn't good at anything else except studying. So my road was so narrow, but education was my ticket. And I took the narrow road because it was also the only one I had. A one-way ticket was all I would need. Why did I write this chapter? I'm a firm believer that our stories may serve as an inspiration and empowerment of others. My story is my moment of truth that I'd like to share far and beyond, as it may impact and change many lives and create a ripple effect for those who are ready to go through the process. And I'm convinced that reading books have the power to change us, sharpen our skills, and transport us for exploration to a destination without moving our feet. And books can also take us back to the moments in our lives. This book, Visionary Women Leaders, Discovering the Greatness Within You, serves as a vehicle for those who would resonate with some of the author's stories. And I would quote Malala Yousafzai said that the content of a book holds the power of education, and it is with this power that can shape our future and change lives. Today, of course, I owe my success from my mother, who empowered me to see the importance of education, and her words of wisdom: education will drag you out of misery, remind me every time my emotions sway me off tracks. So I really believe that readers, for the readers, to understand the power of education, how it can change and impact many lives, how they can contribute when you are highly educated, either formally or informally. The chance of having that intellectual discussion and decision making in the workplace and at your home is very high. And education will always arm anyone with more knowledge and better decision making skills. So thank you very much. And that's what I can say about my book and this book, that all of the authors are involved. And we are very grateful and thankful to both you, Ragni, and Dr. B.
Such grace. I just, whenever I listen to you, and you're always so prepared. I think that's something that we need to keep in mind and be intentional, because as we also started today, success, what success really means, it means that you have prepared yourself once you meet your opportunity, and she's a true example of that. So beautiful work that you're doing, and beautiful way that you are really connecting to the world. So congratulations to everything that you do. uh, what is the quote that you want to leave us today with from the book, and what was the name of your chapter, just that people can see that?
Succeeding without boundaries. And the quote that I really love is, achievements and success can only be meaningful when they make a significant difference and change a soul for the betterment of humanity and society. So that's one of my favorite quotes.
Thank you so much. And I really appreciate your philanthropy work that you do across the world. I think that seeing that you are helping many orphans is beautiful. It's a beautiful work that you're doing. So I really appreciate that. And I'm so thankful that there's people like you that are willing to help these children and be their support. So thank you so much, Sarifa, for that work that you do. And thank you for being in this chapter. So for those that are watching, like, you need to get this book. Now we are going to apologize for a bit because the link was broken and we need to fix it and repair it. But you know what? I was stressing, I'm not going to lie, but sometimes things happen for a reason, and there's a reason behind this, and it's all okay, and it's going to be perfect. And we're going to share the link with you very soon. We want you to connect with these women because they have powerful stories, powerful messages. And the most important thing, they all have a mission, just like Sarifa. You know, she helps orphans and women, and they're powerful stories as to why they do what they do, even if they had struggles. So thank you so much, Sarifa, for being here. It's always an honor to be with you on stage and to see you working and continuing to do your work. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks. Now, I'm gonna say, Ragnar, I know you have a story too. And I know it's kind of late, and we told everybody it's gonna be short and sweet, and yet it's so hard, right, to cut people like from their story.
I think one, we should never do it, because it takes a lot of courage to come forefront, and it takes a lot of courage, right words to even express. And you have seen how many countries we have in front of you. So many countries which even writing in English is a challenge because it's not the mother language. And that has actually been quite of a challenge for me as well, because, you know, wanting to express the true essence of something, and then you're like, and me having also studied so many different languages and living in a foreign country now, and it's like 3 languages minimum on a daily basis, which is just sometimes too much. And when you start to write, then it's like, which language should I even choose? But despite all those what we called the challenges, I think writing is the excellent way of really using as journaling and introspection. I did not really choose to write because of thinking, oh, this is going to change someone else's life. And I need to admit that I needed to write that. Because I needed to connect with my own greatness through those words. And really, as Forbes Riley was just saying, walking the talk. Not just saying how you should do it, but really thinking through, am I doing it? And then also seeing how much of the way that you express, once you are in the journey of learning, you start to speak and behave like your coaches. It's incredible. So I wanna salute all my coaches, which hopefully are listening. So thank you. Have been true game changers for me, and being also the light in the end of the tunnel when one needed the most. So thank you for doing so, and obviously the proximity of the right people and the right empowering environment. I think that's what has inspired at least me to write the chapter.
Exactly. Yes. And you know, for those of you that are listening, it's not easy to express and to share our life story, you know, because you're gonna see um Dean Gracio says, or maybe I don't know if it was him or not, but your mess is your message, you know. And that's exactly what we're doing in this book. We're sharing our mess and making it and turning it into our message. So you will be empowered and saying, you know what, if they did it, we want you to take the stance and say, if they did it and they were able to get out of that chaos, then I can do it too, right? Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you're at in life. But what matters is that you take the steps necessary to move forward and heal. So, Barb, I send you the link, and I know you want to join us. But, you know, I also want to talk about Barb because in a minute, Regne is going to share a little bit of her story and why she did what she did. But Barb is our editor, and she's going to tell you herself, but we constantly we're going through chaos, and chaos is happening, and just like it is right now with the link, you know, but it's that you keep going no matter what, that you don't give up regardless of what's happening in your life. And Barb has done that through this whole book. It's been a journey, and I'm going to bring her up. Like, I love her to death. Barb, thank you, Barb. Like, you're amazing. You know, we were talking about languages, Barb, you know, and it's been a challenge because we have women all over the world. And Barb was like, okay, we have to decide how are we going to write this, because we need to clarify a lot of things. And it is a challenge, but Barb is here. Barb, tell us a little more, Barb.
Hello, everybody. You know, this has been quite the journey, and it's been exciting, at times frustrating, because I've had a lot of pressure from the outside. But I believe that everybody's stories were fantastic, and you all each shared a special message for the readers of the future. And the advice that some people have given is phenomenal. like sharing some of these stories. I mean, the whole idea was that we were going to share stories to help people in the future and help them now. But like, we are truly helping people the minute they pick up this book and they read these stories. They're going to pick up some real nuggets of information that they can take into their life and apply and know that they can do it. I have a saying, and it kind of comes from my mom. My mom used to always tell me, sure, you can do it. And I've spent most of my life thinking that, yes, I can do it. And I have a coffee cup that now says, I can do and I am doing. And I use that all the time. And I think that all the women in the book, they're doing the same thing. They can do it and they are doing it. And they're leading those future generations of leaders. They're giving them the strength and empowering them to really become who they are. I don't remember which author said it, but we all have greatness inside of us. We just need to bring it out. And this book does just that.
Yes. I love that. You know, we could be, you know, if there's a mountain in our way, like we could become water and be able to flow through the little cracks to get to the other side. You know, we don't have to get the hammer and break it and for it to take forever. We could actually transform ourselves into something else so that we can flow and get to where we want to be. And that's exactly what these women are doing for you. They're helping you transform into what you need to transform so that you can actually get to where you want to be. And Barb, I mean, you did a fabulous job editing, and I probably annoyed you like, now, you know, we need to do this now, you know, and I was motivating all these women like, now, like there's something there, but we all did it, right, Rekna? Like we did it. It was challenging, but we are here now, releasing
the book is ready to go. I'm really excited about the future of all the people that this book is going to impact, because the advice is fantastic. And you know, the sharing of the stories, you know, like Forbes Riley always says, you know, your story is how you connect with people. These stories are going to connect with people on all kinds of levels. And they're going to be able to see that there is a way out. There's a way out, step up, and be your greatness that you are.
Exactly.
Angelica, the best idea to bring Barbara here, because I think that she has been even more than any author, she knows more about any chapter, because again, like I need to take a hat off in front of you. I can only imagine, like, if I take my chapter and I'm like, okay, and as I just started this whole thing explaining, like sometimes I use the sentence structure which is in English, or otherwise Spanish is totally vice versa, and then I read, I'm like, I'm missing something, and I'm like, I can only imagine when you open the chapter and you're like, oh my God,
yeah,
this take forever. But
that's
you
what
did
she did.
such a good work, because I think that you were able still to emphasize the essence and the language of each of the authors, but really bringing out what is important and what needs to be highlighted, and where the pure cold is hidden. So I want to recognize you, and I want to celebrate you today, because I think the hardest work is this, really, because we all think that it's easy, but it's not. It's not.
It's not.
It's not even easier to try to change someone else's work and still having the taste that it is their work. So
like leaving their essence was really, you know, it was powerful. Like we needed to leave it there. And what made it a little more difficult was that I wanted to like kill two birds with one stone. So when we did the Visionary Women Awards, I had all these questions. I'm like, oh, we're going to turn them into a chapter. And then Barb is like, what is this? And I'm like, we could do it, Barb. We can do it. And she's like, okay, let me look at it. So, and then we added a little more sugar into it, right, to sweeten it up and puff it up. And I know that all these women, we want to thank you for being patient with us, because we come back and say, edit it again. but that's what it takes. The audience needs to know that that's what it takes to achieve beautiful work. You know, it's polishing your work that you're doing along the way.
Yeah,
Exactly.
not only that, but that it really impacts someone, because in the end of the day, there's so many books nowadays that are written just for marketing purpose, and then you just start to go through, and then I was like, and where's the point? You go through and there's like, does it have something to a takeaway? And unfortunately, books are not as they used to be anymore. So it's really truly a masterpiece to write in a way that truly can benefit the one that has made the investment, not only monetary, but also investing your time into taking the book and reading it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Regna, you just brought up a really good point. You know, writing with a reason. I mean, if we just blah, 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 why would anybody want to read it? Like the name of my company, which by the way, I never even put in my bio, is Write with a Reason. You know, why do we just do all these marketing pieces? Like, let's share our knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Let's help people. So yes. So thank you, ladies, for having me on at the last minute. I appreciate it very much. And you guys did a fantastic job. And I apologize. I do need to get back to pressing urgent family matters, but I just wanted to pop in and let my appreciation be known to all of the authors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is the master behind the editing. And then Forbes really pulled it out of her, right? Like she saw it in you, and then
yes. I don't know if Forbes mentioned it because I was kind of going back and forth out of the room, but I won an award from Forbes Riley, and I won an award at the Excellis a year and a half ago, and I got the Forbes Did award. And if you don't know what Forbes Did is, it's like where you manifest something and it comes to be. It's a great award. It's one of the best awards I've ever got. It is the best award I ever received. Yeah. So thanks, Barb.
Well deserved.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Barb, and love you so much. And we'll connect later. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Bye. So you see, like we can go on and on and on. We have amazing authors in the book. And I mean, how did you get where you are? I mean, just share a little bit about your story since we're here already, and then give us your quote.
Well, I think without one, to have the right environment, which I already sort of walked you through, the proximity to people that really want you to succeed rather than finding the ways how to leverage on you. But really through helping me, they help themselves to grow more, to be more. And I didn't understand that. And my first coach, which is John C. Maxwell, had always said that the significance really, and when you taste the significance, then there's no other measure for success. Because the more you're able to touch lives and leave them better than they were before, that you want. And that stuck with me on many years ago, and it has been leading me, and that has been the maybe the main force which has always forced me to be better, to be more, and to be more of service. I mean, to be more of service, not always thinking in a competition way, but being more of service. And what else? I think having really clear who you are, what you want to stand for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And what would really people say the day that you're gone? Because we always think that we have so much time that we don't know if we're going to be here tomorrow or not. And I think there's so many of us who do not have the certainty whether we are going to be there tomorrow or not. And through the wake-up calls which I have had the last 6 months, I can truly now connect with this mortality, and not really wasting is not the correct word, but not giving the time to problems, or not even the time, but the energy to problems, to people that do not really feed your energy. And sometimes it's hard because this is the only thing that we know, and it gives us the false sense of security. There's nothing secure in our life.
Mm-hmm.
And yet we are so addicted to it. So my chapter has to do with the girl which came from Soviet Union, made it despite of not really having any clue how to do business, how to do leadership, how to do anything. Was lucky enough to get to proximity to people that had that knowledge. And again, I don't believe that luck really exists. My definition of luck is that we are prepared for the opportunities, and when the opportunities present themselves, you really, really know that you're ready for them. And not knowing that you're ready, but you take the first step. Because we procrastinate ourselves as well and think, no, we're missing this and we're missing that. And again, learning through our failures and understanding that there's no failures but lessons. Sometimes we want to be too perfect. Sometimes we want to do, and we force things to happen. And when you start to force things to happen, they are not happening with a reason. And you will find it out later. And then you're like, oh my God, I should have ever invested the time, the money, it wasn't the right partnership or whatever it is, whether we talk about the life or private life, or we talk about the business. And yet it's hard. We don't really take the time to reflect on those things.
Mm-hmm.
You just keep on going. And as you just realized, I didn't know that I need to heal more.
Mm-hmm.
It is that point where our conscious mind says, no, I'm fine. Everything is fine. Like nothing is growing up. Everything is fine.
Right.
And yet you are like, I was on this Tuesday ending up in the hospital, almost losing my eyesight. And I'm like, what is going on? And the doctor says, you have too much stress. And I'm like, what stress? This is a cause of this. And I'm like, it can't be. And that those moments, though, those really, really strong wake-up calls remind us that sometimes we just do not listen to ourselves. We do not put ourselves first, and we don't really foster our own needs.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I just drift off from my book, but it is my story. It is my story how I ended up really focusing on emphatic, sustainable leadership, what it means to empower. I have been chosen to empower women and girls now, through the organization, which I have amazing leaders, including you, part of. So, but that's the story. That's the story with really the ways of what is important, how are the tools to empower, and what really means to lead with empathy, and I think that's not to give away too much. That's most of it. And what else did you?
And no, I just want to say something, Regne, because like my story is that I had, cancer, and that I almost died several times, and I needed, once I realized, okay, I'm living, so I have to have a bigger message and a bigger vision because I'm here in this world. And a lot of times we can't see our gifts and we can't see our talents because, again, we're intimidated and we shy away from our greatness. And one of the things that I really want to bring out and honor you and thank you for was that you were like, and you could be the publisher. And I was like, me, and it was like, you saw it in me. And you already did it with the other book. And I'm like, I could do it. Like, but you empowered me and you kind of pushed me over the edge. So thank you for that. Because then I'm like, okay, I want to do this, right? Regne said I could do it. So, and then here I am doing it. But you saw it first, Regne. You truly saw it first. I mean, I knew it after you saw it.
Yeah, but sometimes we have those blind spots. We can't see our talent, and we don't see the skill set. And then the worst of it, we do not see our value, and we are devaluing ourselves because as soon as we start to compare ourselves with others, which is the most ridiculous things to do, then we don't see our own worth anymore. But yet, thank God there are people, and that's the proximity and the environment that you need to be in a correct place where people say, you are absolutely fantastic. Why don't you do that? And even if you failure doesn't exist. Change your language, change your life. Just know that you needed to learn that in order to be ready for this next opportunity that we are talking about all and over and over and over again.
So, I mean, I just want to thank you for that. And then, I'm going to share my quote right now because I think it's really important and it goes with what we're saying. It's really the only thing worse than being blind is having sight and no vision. And that's from Helen Keller. I mean, she was actually blind and she said that. So I think it's powerful that if you don't have a vision, that's really not a good thing for you because it's in there and you have to tap into it. And if you don't have the courage or you don't know how, then you have to surround yourself by these 20 fabulous women that are in this book and read it and then go and connect with them. Because just like I connected with Regne, I mean, I just saw her one time. She popped into my Facebook feed and then I said, hey, you want to join this private group that I had? And she joined. She didn't say no, just like Forbes joined. And then next thing you know, I'm following her. I'm in her community. And then now here we are with this amazing book. So Regne, thank you for seeing the queen in me. I'm going to use that word. Thank you for seeing the queen in me and pulling it out of me. And then here we are together doing this amazing partnership and work with this book.
Yes, exactly. It is that really pursuing your dreams with a powerful intention and the sense of purpose. It really requires the call from within yourself to activate that desire. I can tell whatever you like. I can tell whatever. If you had not believed that you can actually do it, if you did not have the proof of concept because you already did it once.
Yeah.
I just needed to guide you a little, just
Yeah.
a little, and you were there. But yeah, and I think truly that the power of also the power of presence really truly ignites your capacity to create a remarkable future by really transforming that intention to future action. Because action is, again, so many things what we leave undone because of fear, because of what if. And we all know that we pump ourselves up. Yes, 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 we can do it. We can do it. We can do it. And if we don't do it at that state, then the fear kicks in. Who are you to think that you can do it? Who are you? We know that, and that's actually our narrative story. And I always talk about the narrative story, what we have, the belief systems that really, really, really drag us down, and why we're not doing the things that we need to do and we are created to do. So I'm just looking forward for this book to be launched. Did almost 4 hours. Thank you, everybody.
I know. It's been 4 hours. We said, and I thought maybe 3, and then I was like, no, it's a lot. I put it to 2. But now we know that how long it takes to have these beautiful presence of fabulous women, and we hated to cut them. What we're going to do for you, we're going to do cut mini series of these women talking and then reposting them with our link for the book. Again, we apologize. There's always something that's there, and it happened to us, but it didn't stop us from showing up. And here we are, acknowledging these powerful women. And we're going to bring up the ones that stayed till the end and give them a hand. And thank you for supporting us. Thank you so much. Queens, here we are. We're going to bring them back on stage. And Diane, if you're there, we'll bring you in. But thank you so much. And we're going to have a group pick at the end because you stayed. So thank you so much. Yay! Nitsuki, tell us your mantra again. You're muted.
Watinta bafazi, watinti mbogodo. You strike a woman, you strike the rock.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. And cheers to our book,
Cheers.
The Women Leaders. Yay!
Cheers.
Lama krobokaza nangalele ndleleni kunyembelekile. Right to the world. Thank you.
My goodness.
Whoever has participated in any books, they know what we feel now, because this is truly like when you're done and then it's like, I made it.
I know. So now I'm just going to go relax, find a pool or something. But thank you, ladies.
Yes.
Thank you for saying yes to the idea and believing in us.
You both, Dr. B and Regni, you are a powerhouse together. Thank you so much for leading us this way. We have to acknowledge you, your greatness, your order, your professionalism, your love, your everything bringing us together as this glue. This is the spirit of Ubuntu. Thank you. Humanitarian spirit. Thank you.
Aita. This is an Estonia.
Namaste.
Well, thank you. And thank you for those of you that are following us through these 3-4 hours. Again, we're going to cut it for you, do it in snippets, and then send it to you again. Because I don't want you to miss these amazing women's stories and what they had to share with us. And you will get the link very, very soon. Thank you, amazing ladies. And we will see you very, very soon again.
To God all the glory.
Bye-bye now.
Thank you.
Congratulations, everyone.
Congratulations.